on the YouTube as well. If you're a little bit crazy and you want the vertical format for some reason, it's on YouTube. The vertical format kind of sucks, but it does exist. Okay, good. Good. And yes, no Mr. Super Sus today. We are going Mr. Professional Suck. Mr. Professional Suck, hello. Hello guys, we're starting in 12 seconds here, so just gotta stay tuned and be ready for the gameplay. Last time it was a little bit stalled out, so I gotta be ready to get the gameplay when it comes. Okay, yeah, we got the groups here. What's going on, Pepe? What's going on, Pepe? Hello, Sub Pedro, Phil, Reuben, Furkan, and Clown today. We're on Group D, the last group of this. The top 3 from here are going to qualify for the 12-man bracket. Next week for the actual prize pool. I don't know if they're gonna show it here, but I've got it for the actual prize pool. First place in this will guarantee some of the prize winnings and earns you a buy into the bracket. Basically, if you get first place, you get to skip around, and then the second and third place will be seeded into an 8-man bracket, and the winners of that will go to face the first place winners, and then it'll be a normal bracket from there. Okay, yeah, there we go. Double elimination bracket as well. There will be winners and losers bracket. What's going on, Space? Hello. Hello. Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, you can do Prits if there's enough people. Okay, they're on it. They're on it, showing up the prize pool. $15,000 on this. And this is just the warm-ups here. There's gonna be a lot more events going every month with ladder. The top 1K on ladder are gonna be involved in some tournaments for $50,000 prize pools monthly, and for the $500,000 competing for the $500,000 World Finals. So it's definitely an upgrade. It's definitely an upgrade from last year's CRL, especially since 12 people are going to Worlds to compete. When they're actually showing the matches today, nice. Actually showing the matches. They didn't have that last time. Yeah, wait, what's happening? What's happening Monday, you say? Yes, I did wake up early for this. What's going on, Fluffy Note here? See, after the ad break? Oh god, there's ads. Well, I mean, I can't do anything about it. I got, like, there's 30 seconds of ads. Unfortunately. Nothing to be done. That's just a Twitch default. They forced me to run 30. Sadly. Mohammed Light always wins. It feels like that, but I mean, Mo Light is already qualified, but there has been a few upsets. Each round contains 4 players that qualified through in-game tournaments, and then 2 players from last year's CRL, and you've already seen a few of those players knocked out, notably Ta and Lucas X Gamer. At least I'm aware of, didn't make the cut for the final 12, and they were competing at the top 8 last year, so I was definitely surprised to see that. Yesterday's results were surprising. I didn't get to see it. I'd like to know if you know, honestly, because Invader wasn't casting, so I didn't have any like source to get it. Okay, Pedro and Furkan are in. We're finally getting some gameplay here. See a Pigs the Bridge from Pedro immediately. Mortar and Gang are going to clean that up. Earthquake kind of just cancels that out. Mortar does get 1 shot, but Piggies are going to get a few bites in the tower, and it's pretty much a stalemate here. A little bit of chip from both sides. Cannon is going to be able to deal with that Skelly King there, and both sides just sitting at around 6 elixir, waiting for the bars to fill up here. Let me know if the game volume is good as well. We actually have game volume for this at least. That's something. No music, but this'll do. Okay, we see a Miner Bats at the bridge. Skeletons to catch the Miner in the back. Well done predicting the placement there. Log comes down on the Gang. Gets that's 1 Piggy shot on the tower. Pedro having the damage advantage here. Okay, never mind. The Ice Wizard Bats push takes him below Furkan's health, which Furkan also has the Cannoneer tower health deficit here. So great early lead for Furkan here. Drops a cannon cart at the back, the newly reworked cannon cart. I guess Furkan thinks it's worth playing, but overall it kind of feels like a nerf to the card, even though it got extra health. Problem is it doesn't soak damage when it goes to the second stage, and it also retargets when it goes to the second stage. If you haven't seen the new reworked cannon cards, Skeleton King is going to be able to mostly get those, actually fully defend those piggies there. And we got a Minor Bats counter push as well. Evo Ice Spirit needs to come down to clean up those. Definitely not the most optimal use for that, but it's what needed to happen there. Skeleton King ability is popped into a cannon. Does force out a log, so 2 for 2 trade. Goblin Gang does come down. Do we see an Earthquake for that? We do see an Earthquake a little late, and Evo Bats are getting some good value on those pigs. Fully healed up. Evo Bats are gonna be getting lots of value for Furkan here. Pedro's gonna need to use a delivery on it. We haven't even seen delivery from Pedro yet, but it's safe to assume that this deck is going to run delivery. It usually does. Yep, there we go. We see the delivery on the cannon cart to deal with that. Pigs are gonna help kill the second stage. Miner on the backside of the tower, chipping away. Skeletons do come down for that. It is just a chip damage race right now. Both sides sitting at basically even health. Holy yapping. Hey, I do my best. Skeleton King getting charged up here. Queen comes down. Both sides, again, are going to try to keep their champs on the field as long as possible. 3-card cycle is invaluable for being able to cycle to your important units and especially your Evos in this. Miner comes down on the right-hand side, picked up by the Ice Spirit and Skeletons for no hits here, even with the arrows. Very well caught by Pedro. It's these micro interactions that are going to count. Guaranteed damage here. Both sides are going to be able to defend their win conditions well, but guaranteed damage with these minor arrows and the Earthquake cycle is going to be huge. Pedro's definitely going to have the advantage here with getting chip damage because piggies are going to force out a lot of elixir and find their way through a lot more consistently. Evo Ice Spirit does come down on those Evo Bats, being able to clean all of them up. Log is able to clean up the swarms here. Queen's still at large. We're not going to see an ability yet. We're going to see a pigs at the bridge though. Ice with spawn damage comes down. Earthquake comes down from Pedro. And yeah, it's that piggy's damage it's just so hard for him. Furkan to be able to deny all of that. He's finding himself in the lead by almost 300 HP here. Miner comes down at the front to hit the tower for a few. Arrows does come down as well. Both sides are just going back and forth here. Barely maintaining the damage lead for 1 second and losing it the next. So this is definitely a very interesting match. Cannon predicting the Evo Mortar there. Beautiful prediction. Knew exactly when that was happening. Counting Elixir perfectly. Evo Ice Spirit does come down on all of that. Queen ability is popped. Delivery and log clean up all of that. But Furkan is able to stay somewhat in this game with the minor chip damage. But Pedro, with that huge prediction log to go on the mortar on the right side, understanding that Furkan's going to be really desperate for damage here. Since the Earthquake chip damage is just too much to stay ahead of. Delivery comes down on the Evo Bats. Log comes down on the left side. Evo Ice Spirit to soak that miner. And Pedro takes that. Wow. I'm pretty impressed by that cannon there. I'm really impressed by that. Pedro takes it by a nice and comfy 400 health margin, which is pretty significant in a matchup like this. GG's. GG's. And what's going on, Alula? Hello. Yeah, cannon cart doesn't feel too good anymore, but yeah, if it's being seen at the highest level of gameplay, then it's got to have something going for it. Cannon cart's always seen in like mortar miner decks like that, so it doesn't surprise me to see it there, but don't really see it in any other decks anymore. Oh, your channel points, not the channel points. What was the results of Group C? That is a good question. I didn't Gurko, Sosa, and Yuru. Yes, thank you, Loisy. I appreciate you. Yeah, Lucas and Ardentoas didn't make the cut, so huge upset. Huge upset there. We should see the lineups soon. Hopefully they put that back up. Yeah, it's interesting. This Group C and Group D are after balance changes and with the new Evo Witch. So I don't know if it's I'm not sure if it's banned in this. Usually new cards and mechanics are banned going into this, but this is just warm up, so I don't know if they would do something like that. I'm not entirely sure, which is my bad. Display on his API. I don't think that's a API worthy achievement. I'm not gonna lie. He won because of heist, bro. I really hope that's not worth putting on his resume there. But hello guys. Oh wait, Chef being a doubter. Look at this guy. Yeah, RG is definitely a very common deck for these players. It's just super consistent. What's going on, feet? Hello. Last week we saw two most popular decks by far were Evo Drill, Snowball, and RG. I'm going to be very interested to see if that's going to change any bit with some big changes. Evo Cannon got a nerf. Golden Knight got a huge change that like overall makes it a lot better. Cannon card did kind of like receive a nerfing rework, and I'm excited to see if anybody brings out the new Goblin HUD, more defensive version of it. All right, we find ourselves back in the BO3. Pedro and Furkan going back at it again. You see an Ice Spirit Snowball from Furkan already. We're seeing two Evo Snowballs. Evo Snowball is just coming to the meta in such a huge way. Anyway, because it allows guaranteed damage, as I said last time. Guaranteed damage, and being able to get chip damage, especially with your main win con, is just invaluable here. It looks like it's probably going to be Drill from Furkan, but we see a Fire Spirit and a Phoenix from Pedro. I'm not really entirely sure what he's bringing out here. Teslas are just going to cancel each other out here. Furkan with the prediction on the Tesla, or just prediction on any building, but that's a very interesting play. Well done there. Boss Bandits pick up the Mighty Miner. Still got a little bit of health in that Phoenix with the counter push. Guards will be able to clean that up unless we see an ability. Yeah, Ice Spirit will finish the job. We do see an ability, but that's not really going to amount to anything there. It goes down as well. 3-card cycle activated again for Furkan, setting up a Mighty Miner here. Okay, it is going to be Drill. It is going to be Drill from Pedro. Looks like both sides are running Drill here. Pedro opting for some other less common support cards in this. Because in a dual set, if you don't know, you can't repeat playing any cards, so it brings out a lot of interesting decks here for sure. And like Phoenix Drill. It's definitely a cool decision. Phoenix will put on a lot of pressure and force out a good amount of elixir. Just setting it up in the back is also a nice way to lock down a lane for the time being. We do see both sides exchanging drills here. This bomber for Furkan is going to be huge in the matchup. It doesn't look like Pedro really has a way to efficiently deal with the drill here for full, especially using these Teslas in the middle. Fire Spirit does come down on the drill. Guards are able to pick that up there. Not too much damage from either side right now. And these Evo Snowball drill pushes are going to be coming down soon. That's why they are so huge. Just dropping an Evo Snowball on a drill is able to get rid of any defenses played on the drill. That's going to be so much guaranteed damage coming down. Okay, we do see an Evo Snowball there. Goblins are allowed in the tower. That is just such a hard push to stop. Prediction Tesla did come down on that drill from Pedro, but Furkan opted to play it on the side placement. Staying unpredictable with these drill placements is going to help a lot to get some damage here. Boss Bandit does come down on that drill. And Furkan finding himself with a nice and comfortable lead here. Drill cycled on the left from Pedro. Again on the side, being able to avoid these Tesla predictions on top of it. They just kept going in the front. You can plop a Tesla on top of it and mostly defend it, even into a regular or Evo Snowball. Do see a drill to front here. Poison is going to allow some chip damage here. Guards do pick up all those goblins, except one does get one stab on there, and Furkan is maintaining a comfortable lead here for sure, even though he doesn't have a very good way to deal with the entire mortar. Furkan having the bomber there, but Evo Snowball does come down a little late. Doesn't really take anything off that drill before it goes down. guards to pick up the drill once again. Poison comes down. That snowball did not net any stabs there, but the poison and drill spawn damage is still adding up. At the end of the day, we see a exchange poison drill from Pedro here. Both sides just throwing poisons and snowballs on the tower, getting that guaranteed damage, cycling back to their Evo snowballs, and keeping a champ on the field as long as possible here. Tesla does come down. That is going to stick around the tower for a little bit, so having a Tesla at the ready for drill pushes is going to be very valuable here. We do see an Evo snowball drill come down. Defensive snowball and fire spirit are going to be able to clean that up. Another drill being exchanged. The damage advantage for Furkan is getting slimmer and slimmer. We do see an Evo snowball. Ice spirit picks that up at the last possible second. Prediction Tesla doesn't really land anything there. We're seeing another poison drill exchange. My goodness, this is a close game. For a second, they were exactly tied in damage. Both drills picked up there. Okay, huge goblin stabs from Furkan there. That's probably gonna be match at the end there. Drill isn't picked up completely, but Ice Spirit does come down, and Furkan takes that game. Jeez, almost a mirror match of a few different support cards, but Furkan does take that game and bring us into match 3. Yes, W comeback indeed. W comeback. These games are just so close, especially both sides bringing out a very safe deck with them. Drill, Evo, Snowball there. Yeah, 1-1 reverse sweep. We could see that. So I'm going to be interested to see what they bring out. Probably at least one side's going to be bringing out RG. I wouldn't be surprised if they got both. Yeah, Feed, I did a little bit of preparation for this. And hello, Pineapple on the YouTube. Eat on pizza. Yeah, we're not gonna delve into that. Lagging quite a bit. Twitch is fine. Oh, yikes. I don't know about any lag on there. I mean, it's the YouTube stream. It's not the main format. If you don't like what's going on, bet too. If the YouTube stream is acting up, do exclamation point Twitch. Come over to Twitch. It's the main stream. We get to see everything. On YouTube, it is basically just the gameplay, and you don't even get to see like the information they're posting. It's just cropped out. Yes, I appreciate you, Pineapple. Come over. You don't even need an account. You can just watch without an account if you want. Yeah, YouTube acting up a little. There's nothing really I can do about that. Not the best Wi-Fi over here, but we make do. Page doesn't go RG Doc is skinny. Yeah, I mean, what he means by that, in case anybody's wondering, is Pedro's. He thinks Pedro's going RG here for sure. The views should be higher. I mean, I don't think so. If you check Invader might be casting right now. If he's not, that's crazy. I'm pretty sure he said he would. I checked. But if he's not, that's kind of yeah, that's weird. It's weird. I'm pretty sure he did. He is? Okay, that makes sense. Good. Yeah, Invader is the main caster for these events. I'm just allowed to. I'm the backup. And I'm okay with that. Proud to be here. Still yapping, still enjoying myself. Yeah, there's no English name. I checked the Discord. He was like sleeping in or something. Of course, I couldn't cast that day because I had work early, but Sundays I start work a little later, so I was able to cast both days. I only work Sundays, and all the CRL events are Sunday, so it's a shame. It's a shame that I can't catch most of them. But maybe I talk with the boss. I'm able to cast more of these. It definitely could end up being an important thing if they end up needing me for events in the future. I'm sure he's pretty lenient. I'm not entirely needed there. I just stock them up. I could always show up at another day besides the weekends. Saturdays and Sundays, so I'm not able to cast events on Saturdays. We're on Group D right now. Groups A and C were held on Saturdays, this Saturday and last Saturday. And then next week, Saturday and Sunday, we're going to be going into the double elimination bracket with the top 12. The top 3 from each of these groups are going to move on to that top 12 there. 1.3k views. Yeah, it's going to be popular there because he's linked in game. They have Yeah, there was nothing, but like they have a if there's a caster, they put like live on the news menu, and you can just click on the link to go straight there. It's cool. It's cool that they support the esports like that and make it access to just any player to see the highest level gameplay. Casting phase 3. So I believe that's going to be done by the main casters. I don't think that's like allowed for them. Yeah, I'm sure people are allowed to watch party. But the main cast are going to be doing that. Okay, we do see. Okay, interesting deck from Pedro so far. We see an Evil Lumberjack and a Bush cycled in the back, and Furkan bringing out Dart Goblin Boss Bandits. Doesn't look like either sides are bringing out RG for this. Trying not to be predictable, I guess. RG is a very solid deck, very consistent deck, but you want to be unpredictable in these sets. And Pedro looks like he's playing something interesting here. Both sides, yeah, it's gonna be Mega Knight bait from both sides. Again, different support cards, so this is gonna be interesting. Not a complete mirror matchup here, but we're seeing Evo Zap. Evo Mega Knight from Furkan, and Evo Lumberjack instead of the Evo Zap here. And we're seeing Bush as well. Furkan might only have Zap as a spell, so this Bush might cause a lot of problems. Bush does connect on the tower for Pedro. That's a huge amount of damage. The newly buffed Bush just does a crazy amount of damage, and that's over 1,000 damage off the tower there just for letting that Bush connect. He must have not had anything good to tank. Okay, we're gonna see Ram Rider from Furkan here. That's definitely not good. Going into Pedro's Mega Knight, especially Evo Mega Knight. A Ram Rider's never getting through an Evo Mega Knight, especially naked like that. Yeah, Juicy will probably be casting the main event. Maybe like Rich, AC. Yeah, maybe we see them as well. But it's gonna be the main casters for the main events, you know. Okay, Inferno Dragons are largely gonna trade. Furkan's does stay alive at 1 HP. Boss Bandit not allowed on the tower by that Prince. Furkan does hit an ability there, negating the charge of the Prince and basically taking it down. Still gonna need a response on that Prince. Fisherman will do the trick here. And now that I'm seeing Ram Rider from Furkan, it's probably gonna be a big spell. Last card if I had to guess. Interesting choice on the Dart Goblin. Having that as the basically only bait card, it seems like, in Furkan's deck. I guess he was anticipating it would get value on its own, but not really going into Pedro's arrows here. Okay, Miner is the last card from Pedro here, just as a consistent source of damage. So a very interesting Mega Knight bait deck, with Bush just applying a lot of pressure. That's what Bush does. It rarely gets on the tower, and it definitely forces out a lot of elixir. Furkan just letting that full Bush on the tower. I don't know. You can't really let stuff like that happen. Lightning does come down on that Prince, though. Mega Knight might find its way to the tower. No, it does not. Gang and Prince have that defense on lockdown. Another Bush cycled at the right side lane. And Furkan's not liking this. You can see the head shake. These Bushes are just getting on tower consistently. He finally drops something to tank for it. But Pedro's towers are basically at full HP here. Furkan hasn't been able to break through. This is a lot bigger of a blowout than last set's. Fisherman, to pull the Lumberjack, does get the King Tower activation for Furkan. That should help a little bit against these miners coming in here. But he's going to need to get a big connection in some way with a Ram Rider or a Mega Knight, and chances of that are seldom to none at this point. Pedro's got pretty good defense, especially with the Mega Knight stun and knockback. Fisherman does bring that Lumberjack over. We do see Lightning as Furkan's big spell here. That was kind of expected. These kind of decks usually run Lightning, maybe Fireball, or Poison. Arrows do need to come down on that Fisherman, though. Furkan breaking through for a little bit of damage. Evil Lumberjack is going to be mostly able to take care of that Ram Rider, not before it gets a big charge on the tower. Furkan finding himself getting a little bit of damage on both sides here. Dark Goblin is going to be able to take care of that Evil Lumberjack. It's not going to be able to, find its way to tower. Boss Bandit pre-placed for the Bush. It's going to be probably one slap on the tower. No, Boss Bandit is able to connect to both there and block both of them as well. Both sides coming down with a Mega Knight Inferno Dragon push. See who comes out on top here. Even a 1 health Inferno Dragon can still melt a Mega Knight at this stage. Zap does come down to reset the Inferno Dragon and ultimately kill it. Mega Knight does need to come down on that Bush on the right hand side, and that's a huge elixir expenditure. Pedro knows that, spamming a Prince and Lumberjack on the left hand side. It's still going. Ram Rider doesn't completely kite. Is that Rage Prince going to be able to get on tower for any? No, it is not. But huge damage from Pedro on the right side as well, evening out the tower damage. And going into 10 seconds here, doesn't look like Furkan's going to be able to break through Pedro's defense and does end up taking the tower with that Evo Mega Knight. Interesting deck choice from both players there. Trying to have Evo Mega Knight for something to counter the RG. Evo Mega Knight is very good against RG, and I guess both sides were anticipating something like that. Came to more of a mirror matchup, and Pedro just had a lot of pressure with that bush and overall with Mega Knight bait going into Mega Knight Ram Rider. So GG's there. GG's there. What's going on, Dash man? What's going on, Pickney on the YouTube? Hello. Rip HF. What did HF do? What did HF do? Yeah, it takes a long time to get a level 15 card, unfortunately. You need to, like, you can go from, you can get a level 14 card pretty fast. If you luck your way into a book and some good wild cards, but from 14 to 15, especially if you don't have a lot of level 14s, it's a long grind. It's a long grind. Yeah, Pedro did, in my opinion, definitely have the edge there. Especially with the bush. Furkan just let a lot of bushes on the tower. You need to at least respond with a little elixir. He was trying to retain as much elixir as possible, keeping the zap and cycle only really way to kill the bush before it gets to the tower, as well as Mega Knight deploy. But if you spend too much on a bush, you're not going to have enough to deal with an opposite lane push, and that's just the strength of the bush right there. Kind of a dead card on defense, you know, it's literally invisible, not going to do a thing on defense, so that's why you just spam it at the bridge and get elixir value and are able to do a lot more with your other 7 cards. So yeah, GG's there. I've seen a lot of bush. I've seen a lot of bush and like bait spammy cards. A lot of bush, a lot of Evo Snowball, a lot of Evo Hunter. Not really cards that are too popular. Too popular on ladder currently. Evo Hunter has really only been played with RG, but still RG is such a popular deck in this that, you know, it's being played a lot. Why is bro turning green? Is something weird happening with the camera filtering? Oh god. Oh god. Okay, man, let me try to change the lighting so it doesn't do this weird filter. My bad. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, Shrek, damn it. We're gonna fix this. No more Goblin cosplay. Okay, now it looks fine. Now it looks fine, because okay, we got the CRL lighting. We got the CRL lighting right now. We got the leaderboard up here as well. We weren't able to catch all the games. Here. Furkan, Clown, and Phil with the L's early on. And Reuben in top right now with the crown advantage here. Yo, Shadow, I appreciate the tier 3 for 9 months. Thank you very much, man. Dude, thank you very much. Okay, using the sub message to bypass the filters, but it's fine. It's fine. W Shadow, I appreciate you. For the tier 3, that's huge, man. That's huge. Okay, yeah, no more alien. No more alien cam. It looks a lot better now. We got the red and blue lighting. Who was Phil, respectively? Phil qualified through the in-game community tournament. So we're gonna be seeing a few new faces here. You know, that's also cool to see. We got a lot of semi-pros and pros as well coming into this. So we're gonna be seeing very high caliber gameplay, and Phil should be no different, making it to this stage. Starting out with a loss, but we didn't get to see any of those games, unfortunately. And hello, Shadow, yes. Missing anything here? We've seen lots of bush. Suspicious bush too. Next match. It's complete. Yeah, we'll see the next match here soon. It's completely the feed is completely controlled by somebody else, so I don't really have a choice what we're seeing. We see what we see. We see what we see. They I don't believe they've shown the match lineups. They were showing the upcoming matches, but I guess that's not being displayed now. Hopefully we just get put in the next match. Okay, and we're seeing Reuben and Clown. Seeing Reuben and Clown now. Snowball and Ghost are able to clean up the split wall breakers at the bridge first play. I'm already seeing Boss Bandit and Evo wall breakers, so it's probably going to be just Mega Knight wall breakers from Reuben and Clown. Perhaps playing that Evo XE Ram Rider deck here. Reuben's definitely going to be using that Mega Knight a lot if he does have it. If he does have it at the end of the day. And we do see Evo XE as well. Yeah, this is going to be that Evo XE deck with Ram Rider and no NATO, surprisingly. Probably going to be Lightning. I actually don't know if it's Bandits or Guards. Last pick. You can never know. You can never know with the decks. Sometimes these players make substitutions that the other players don't really necessarily expect. We do see Miner and Spear Goblins from Reuben. It might just be Poison Cycle at the end of the day here. Could be either or. Could be either or, honestly, but most likely Reuben's bringing Miner, Poison Cycle out, and Clown's got Ram Rider and Lightning as last cards. We do see Guards here. Guards are just a little more consistent on defense, and consistency on defense is key here. Consistency is king. We do see Evo wall breakers already coming down from Reuben here. Bar Barrel is able to clean all of them up with assistance from the Boss Bandit. Both sides not really having much damage going in here. Boss Bandit does get a dash on Clown, so that's going to be able to win the matchup with a healthy damage lead and definitely still put on some pressure. You see a Ghost in response. Bandit ability might be in order with the log. Does almost kill the Ghost, but 1 HP Ghost is still a threat to the tower. Split Spear Gobs are going to be able to deal with that. Minor wall breakers on the left-hand side. XE almost whiffs there, but is able to take care of both those wall breakers and the Miner as well. Great placement on the XE. Great placements on the XE are definitely needed without NATO. We do see a Tesla as the building from Reuben and soak that Ram Rider. That's definitely gonna help a lot. Tesla is very easily placed away from Lightnings. Evo, XE, and Ghost are able to lock on the tower for Clown. That is devastating for Reuben. Do see an Evo Snowball as well to bring all those Evo Bats back. Executioner is able to finish the Evo Bats off as well, and Reuben with just a sliver of health left on his tower. With a deck like mine or Poison, the comeback is not likely here. Clown just leaking Elixir at this point. Do see a Boss Bandit, Spirit Goblins, Desperation push into this. Reuben's got to get some damage other than Minor Poison at this point, because Clown is just a lightning away from the victory. Evo Wall Breakers do come down, are able to be cleaned up by the Guards and the XE, and that's going to be GG's here. We're just biding our time before the lightning comes down, and we're going to see a snowball here soon to finish off the tower. Clown takes game one by a long shot here. GG's. Might see a reverse sweep from Reuben. If the script writers cook that up, that would be fun to see. Definitely want to see a contested match here. That was not really a contest here, but both are world-class players, and that was just an unfortunate pick from Reuben there. Clown was able to clean up with that Evo XE deck. What's going on, 41? Hello. What's going on? I mean, I think it was clearly definitely in the favor of Clown there. Had good swarm counters for the bats and the Spirit Goblins. Had ways to deal with the Boss Bandits. Only way The only way Reuben could get consistent damage there was Minor Poisons, and I don't even think we saw Poison the entire match. There was just so much pressure coming down from Clown all the time, and Evo XE was able to sneak his way there, not having Boss Bandit alive for the Evo XE, just let it get there. W green, is it green again? No shot. Does it turn green when it's like on the red thing? Stupid color filtering. Is it not? It might not be on. Might not be on for this. Oh, it is not on. It is not on for this cam. When my cam broke, I guess it reset the color filtering. Oh, that's annoying. I don't really have time to do that right now. If you didn't see, like, literally everything broke in my last stream. I don't know why. It's all working fine today. It just decided today wasn't the day to function. So, might not show the cam as much if I'm going Shrek mode on that. You Hulk CRL caster. Oh, God. It's not that bad, right? What's going on, Revy? Hello. Hello. Yeah, one bad game isn't the end of it, but we're probably going to see. Usually players are able to go with something, more matchup dependent. Try to try to get the good matchup early on in the first game, and then usually players shift to using more consistent decks like RG and Evo Snowball Drill in the later rounds, because those are just you need to have your consistent decks later on, and you don't want to use your consistent if you use your consistent decks and lose in the early games. That's not going to be looking good for you, and you're just going to be banking on a good matchup. And if you're banking on a good matchup, you're going to be a lot more predictable. It'll be a lot more predictable and easier to snipe. Yo, Finn, I appreciate the follow. Thank you very much. Does look like Hulk. Okay, it can't be that bad. If you're saying it, it might be that bad, unfortunately. Okay, we are back in with Reuben and Clown. Again, these decks are not going to be able to be repeated as well as all 8 of the cards in these decks. We're going to be seeing something different here. Barbell at the bridge from Reuben. Goblins to respond. We do see a Golden Knight. Newly buffed Golden Knight. This is the first time today we're going to be seeing this. I don't really know if Golden Knight was played yesterday. We didn't have a caster again. Do see Evo Xe from Reuben here. This could be Drill. Okay, with the Evo Snowball. Might be Drill, but it could be another win condition at the end of the day. You want to stay unpredictable. Clown with the Evo Valk Inferno Dragon Bowler. If I had to guess, this might be a Graveyard deck. Maybe Graveyard Freeze from Clown. Graveyard is definitely not as popular of an option, especially since the NATO nerf allows the NATO to activate King Tower off the graveyard in the regular placement. Okay, we do see a Ram Rider from Reuben instead. Ram Rider, okay, we do see a Freeze and Evil Wizard as well. It's basically, I'd have to say, guaranteed for a Clown to be running Graveyard here. Maybe by chance a Loon. I'd be surprised to see anything else. And we do see Reuben with a different variation of Ram Rider Evo Snowball here with the Golden Knight. Maybe it might be NATO last card, but that wouldn't give Reuben a big spell. My bad. To get consistent damage if Clown had a good defense. But Graveyard Freeze decks usually don't play a building, so Reuben's definitely going to be able to find himself a lot more connection opportunities here. Ghost has come down to clean up the Goblin spam on the right side. Golden Knight's going to be able to negate that Valk over there, and Inferno Dragon cleans that up. We do see a Guard's Ghost spam on the right side, but Clown is able to use his NATO there to clean up and get the King Tower activation. But Evo Wizard Shield is popped early and not able to knock back that Ram Rider, and that is a huge connection, especially going into Evo Valk, Evo Wizard, and Bowler. It's going to be hard to get a connection into those things, but already with 1,000 damage lead from Reuben, Bowler is going to be able to almost let the Evo Xe on tower. Evo Xe is allowed on tower because of that Evo Snowball. The tower almost gets it on tower. Evo Xe wasn't angled correctly at that point. Freeze Graveyard does come down. Is that going to be able to... Does get a few hundred damage of Graveyard Chip. Inferno Dragon is locked on the tower. Snowball to get it off before it ramps up in damage. Huge damage lead still from Reuben here. I think the match is definitely in Reuben's favor here, but we will see. We don't even know Reuben's last card at this point. Okay, it is going to be Lightning. Is definitely expected there. Graveyard Freeze does come down, and that is some good damage. Clown is going to have a lot more opportunities for big Graveyard Freeze pushes going into triple here, starting in 44 seconds. Bowler is able to clean up that Ram Rider and Xe there. Goblins do need to come down to damage that down, but very well defended from Clown here. Reuben is definitely losing his damage advantage here, going with these Graveyard Freezes. Especially starting in the triple, that's where Graveyard Freeze really shines, because he's allowed to spend a lot of elixir for a Graveyard Tank and a Graveyard and a Freeze as well. Golden Knight Dash does come down, not really getting anything done there, kind of a waste of elixir. But that won't be the end-all, be-all of this match. Bowler offensively does come down on the left-hand side, knowing he's not trying to defend with that Bowler, but use it as a tank for the Graveyard. NATO does come down. Bowler is going to be able to get a through shot on that tower, and Clown sneaking into the damage lead. Golden Knight spam does come down, but it's not able to connect to the tower. Ram Rider, huge Ram Rider push coming down on the left side. Defensive Freeze eventually comes down and is able to cycle back to his Bowler. Evo Snowball might net him a hit on tower. Does get him a huge charge on tower. Royal Ghost and Xe connect on the left-hand side. bringing Reuben back into the damage lead. Defensive freeze does come down. Lightning on the tower. Bowler is going to be able to clean all that up. Maybe Ghost gets a splash. Ghost does get a splash. That snowball slow. Reuben sneaks back into the damage lead. Both sides are just going back and forth here. Huge plays from both. Freeze and Graveyard does come down. A few skeletons getting chip damage. Clown doesn't have anything for the Ram Rider in time, and that connects there, and it's going to get another shot along with the Lightning. Reuben takes game 2 here. GG's. Oh my. W gameplay we're seeing here. Save with emote only? We're really going emote only? Alright, this is what I like to see. The one-to-one tied match. These third matches are usually the most exciting because both players are going to be bringing out some rather consistent decks. Again, not vying for just a matchup advantage. But that was definitely a very close game. Clown was able to do a lot more going in the triple elixir where Graveyard Freeze shines. But there was some huge Ram Rider spam pushes. Very well played from Reuben. Wasn't able to get any Golden Knights on the tower, but not having NATO there, that is definitely tricky. But that is the first Golden Knight gameplay we've seen so far. Wasn't really able to get too much clip-worthy plays with the Golden Knight because then he didn't have NATO, and Clown only had Goblins for the Swarm. Wasn't even able to get any value on that. But at the end of the day, very well played game from both players. Both knowing when to go on offense and defense. It was just a back and forth game. It was very close, even though the damage differential at the end wasn't was there a pretty wide gap. It was really down. It was really down to the micro plays at the end. One mistake from either side could have drastically changed how that match went. Beatdown is still viable. Really anything is viable on just like regular ladder. It depends what level you're playing at. Evo, yeah, we haven't seen any Evo Witch. It probably is banned, if I had to guess. Usually new Evos are not allowed in these events. You know, cause that makes a lot of sense because they're gonna purposely make those Evos broken. You don't want to make a competitive event like this surround the new broken Evos. Evo Witch is basically used in like almost every archetype on ladder, so it would definitely be making an appearance by now. So I'm gonna just go ahead and assume that Evo Witch is not gonna show up today. And hello, skip like that. I don't know if I said hi here. We see today's matches. We're gonna be going into round 3 here soon. I don't know exactly what game we're gonna be seeing, but sub Pedro, Furkan, Reuben, or Clown Phil. Haven't seen any Phil gameplays so far. But doesn't look like it's going his way. Getting 0-2'd in both sets here. And Phil is definitely the underdog in this situation, but going 0-2 in 2 sets is definitely not setting yourself up for success here. Or drink some Goblin Curse before stream. That's what you gotta do. That's what you gotta do sometimes. But yeah, it's unfortunate that I'll definitely have to fix that. A lot of issues I did not see arising here, honestly. I spent a lot of time preparing this beforehand, and it went pretty well on Group B, but, you know, everything decided to break. There's going to be some things I miss, unfortunately. Maybe we could always see E-Giant. E-Giant is definitely not a popular match in these, but if you're trying to snipe a good matchup, E-Giant could be brought out by any of these players. Again, they have professional analysts to give them decks. It's not really up to the pro players themselves. The analyst gives them the deck that they think will have the best chance against the opponent, and they run it. So maybe somebody brings out E-Giants if they are rather skilled with it. But all these players are going to be skilled with most archetypes. If you one-trick something, like we saw Pompeo in Group B running his one trick, and he basically got destroyed every time because the opponents were able to snipe and anticipate it. So that is definitely not a good strategy. We do see Evo Ice Spirit and Wall Breakers from Clown. It's probably going to be... Okay, we see a Skeleton King instead of a Boss Bandit. Might not be exactly a minor poison here, but we will see. We're seeing a Phoenix and Goblin Gang as well from Reuben. Phoenix is just a very consistent air support card, so we're going to be seeing in a lot of decks here. Do you see the Evo Mega Knight come down? Mega Knight almost basically always played with its Evo counterpart. The Evo Mega Knight is definitely a godsend on defense. We do see a Drill from Clown. It's going to be a Drill Wall Breakers spammy deck. Interesting. Haven't seen anything like this like this played yet. Will Clown be playing an Evo Snowball variation? Oh my god. That's just my Wi-Fi acting up. Okay. We're back. We're back. We do see an Evo Battle Ram and arrows from Reuben. Interesting, not playing like a Ram Rider. Or going the minor Wallbreaker's chip route. We're going to be seeing some big, beefy Evo Battle Ram pushes. Dark Goblin is allowed to lock onto the right side tower, putting Clown in a decent damage advantage here. We do see another drill. Clown is allowing those Spear Goblins to connect, opting for using his Elixir to counter push on offense here. Evo Mega Knight is going to be able to clean all of that up. Counter for pretty decent damage lead. Reuben is definitely going to be needing to save those arrows for the Evo Dark Goblin. It's just going to melt Evo Mega Knight and all the Swarm as well. Inferno Tower from Clown is definitely going to help a lot against Reuben. Wallbreaker is allowed to connect on the left-hand side. Reuben just letting that go, equalizing the tower damage. Evo Dark Goblin is going to be next in cycle for Clown, so Reuben's got to keep those arrows handy. So Evo Dark Goblin, if it's left alone to do its own thing, just gets an absurd amount of value with that infinite poison mechanic. We do see a Queen as Reuben's champion. Champions are definitely going to be very popular. Almost seen in about all decks here. 3-card cycle is just invaluable, especially at the competitive level. We do see some Spear Goblins chip and almost Wallbreakers connecting on the right-hand side for Clown. Still, Clown with a huge damage lead. Queen does get one shot on the left-hand side. Clown is still maintaining his damage lead. Evo Battle Ram has to come down the tank for the Evo Dart Goblin, but that infinite poison is just hurting it. Didn't really give it any chance to get through. And Clown ensuring that with the Skeleton King on the left-hand side. Does end up switching lanes here. Fireball comes down. We're seeing the spell from Clown. Fireball in the third game of the set. Definitely running out of spells at this point. So you gotta make do. You gotta make do with the spells you have. Fireball not too popular of an option, but it definitely works well with this deck. Skeleton King ability comes down to keep that Queen and Mega Knight distracted. It's not going to be enough to completely take it out. Never mind. Never mind. It somehow was. Good Skeleton King RNG from Clown there. Barbs do connect on the tower from the Battle Ram for Reuben. And this game isn't looking so one-sided anymore. Huge Spear Goblin chip as well. Clown still in the damage lead by a little bit, but Reuben is catching up for sure. Phoenix does come down. I don't think, yeah, that's not going to be able to fully defend. Phoenix plays too late, and one Wallbreaker connection does come down for Clown here. Still definitely not in spell cycle range. You got a long ways to go for that. We do see a Fireball from Reuben as well. Spell pool is definitely limited, but Fireball is still a fairly versatile spell to use for offense and defense. Evo Mega Knight does go down here. Evo Dark Goblin comes down for the Queen, ensuring that it can't get an ability off of the infinite poison. Evo Ice Spirit is needed to use as well here. That Battle Ram push got a lot of Elixir and both of Clown's Evos out. But we do see a response with the Drill Wallbreakers push. Drill to back is able to connect on the tower, and Reuben basically throws in the towel here, knowing that Clown's got this game. Clown very happy to see that. 2-1, the set going to Clown here. And GG's. Yeah, especially having the Inferno Tower. Reuben's only reset being, well, his spells being Fireball arrows, and then having E-Spear. There's really no way for him to break through an Inferno Tower there. And Clown really didn't even need to. Clown really didn't even need to get that. And the drill Wallbreakers push was just too much to handle at the end there, and was able to take the tower. Yeah, Infinite Poison. Infinite Poison is definitely crazy. E-Golem. That's definitely, yeah, E-Golem is very matchup dependent. These players aren't going to be... These players want, you know, they want the best. The best player should win. The best player should win a lot of times. There is good and bad matches, but I doubt anybody's ever going to run E-Golem competitively. Maybe, like, once as a surprise play in desperation. But E-Golem is definitely pretty easy to defend, especially with pixel-perfect micros like these players have. E-Golem is definitely a lot more effective against lower levels, against lower skill players. See, I should know. I am a E-Golem abuser myself. And when you're facing a really good player, and especially if they have a building, they're able to tear up your E-Golem pushes, separate your support troops from the main E-Golem push that's tanking from everything. So, most of these decks are going to contain a building, or at least some way to manipulate the position of the opponent's units here. So I think we're going Shrek mode again if I just had to guess. So let's just try to keep it. Let's just try to keep it on the feed as long as possible. How about that? Yeah, yeah, the predictions are nice. I don't know if how many people are getting in on them. If you're not getting in on the predictions, it's a rare opportunity here to earn yourself some channel points. Okay, we're seeing 7 people in the last prediction. That's really nice. More the merrier there to make the payouts more fair, for sure. But thank you guys for participating in that. Good way to win some channel points. Pretty valuable on this channel. I have a lot of stuff for cheap. A lot of stuff for cheap to do. Not like some people cough cough doc. Hey, Procaster, that's what we're working towards. That's what we're working towards. Just need practice. I had a lot of practice casting semi-pro leagues for just the 2 nice team of friends and whoever else needed it. And now I'm casting the best of the best. I'm allowed to be here, and I'm definitely grateful for that. And we're gonna get better. I definitely think I'm pretty solid as a caster. I definitely got the yap factor. Definitely got the yap factor going for me. Try to bring something, you know, my goal as a caster is, you know, keep the conversation flowing and bring something new to the table. Really anybody who has a talent, you know, the gift of gab, can say exactly what's going on in the field. But my goal is to have some insight into the matches, know what cards the opponents are, you know, the players are likely to have, and know when plays are good and bad, and anticipate somewhat anticipate the movements of pros, but even with that, they just wow me sometimes. I'm still kind of in awe about that Evo cannon prediction on the Evo Mortar opposite lane. I forgot who the match was, but knowing exactly the pixel perfect moment, both that Evo Mortar and cannon were played at the same time. Knowing the exact moment where the desperation play would come down on their lane, and just shutting that down, shutting an Evo Mortar down for a +1 trade is just, you know, that's just top tier high caliber stuff right there. Furkan versus Reuben. Yeah, I think that it's gonna be weird because we don't really exactly know what set we're gonna see. So it's best that the predictions start once we know what we're gonna be able to watch, because not all these games, not all of these games are happening like somewhat simultaneously for these rounds to, you know, speed up the process. So we don't really know what's gonna be casted and what's not. Don't have an analyst. I mean, you never know. Maybe. Maybe. I don't really recognize the name Phil at all, and he did qualify from the CRL tournament, so might not be in the position to have an analyst. Might be just choosing his own decks here, but it's still not looking good for Phil. Still not looking good for Phil here. Watching Revol. Yeah, sub v Pedro we'll see here soon, I guess. Pedro with the commanding lead in this set here. Yeah, it's not looking too good for Phil. And we're seeing Clown and Furkan in 4th, but I definitely expect Reuben, Sub, and Pedro to be up there. Very, very good, consistent players, playing at the high competitive level, competitively. Definitely recognizable names if you're into the competitive scene at all, and I'm not surprised to see them top 3. Maybe an upset. Maybe upsets happen in the going into round 4 and 5 here. Yeah, okay. What are the filters doing? We're keeping it PG, Doc. The filters, I guess, are not doing anything here. I set it to like slightly filtered. But I guess that wasn't enough. Don't make me go maximum filtering. You don't wanna see me when I'm maximum filtered. But yeah, I would definitely be excited to see Sub versus Pedro. That would be a very interesting match between 2 very good and consistent players that I know for sure. W community. Yeah, we got Dr. Phil and CRL. His show wasn't doing too good. He had to become a competitive Clash Royale player and fight for the prize pool. Pro Yapper and Pro Caster are basically one and the same. Basically one and the same. If you can't yap as a caster, then, you know, you failed your job. Your goal is to, you know, your goal is to bring a little audio pollution to the main gameplay. Harder, goddamn it, HF. We need the chill. We need the chill. Mods. This is we're keeping it professional, all right? Okay, we do see Sub and Pedro. If we can get a prediction after that, would be nice. Pedro starting things off with an Ice Spear at the bridge. Man, you were fast in that prediction. I appreciate that. We do see an Evo Ice Spear and an Evo Cannon coming down from Pedro. This could be a few things. It might, if I had to guess, be pigs. Okay, yes, we do see pigs at the bridge. Another very consistent deck. We seem to be seeing that more in this group rather than Group B. It was mostly RG and Drill. And Sub looking like he's playing the, not really classic, it's a newer deck, but, the Cookie Cutter, Ram Rider Evo XC deck here. So two rather safe, rather predictable decks to start things off. These, Pedro's going to be able to cycle a lot of cannons here, and going lightning into a cannon is definitely not going to be good value. Pedro's definitely going to be playing safe with his queens, playing them a lot at the bridge to not give Sub lightning value here. Yes, this is how you want to play queen into lightning. You just put it high at the bridge, let it get as much value as possible. Just activate 3-card cycle. You never want to put it in the back because that's just a free lightning every time. Barbell does come down on the 1 HP queen and negate the ability. Very well played, Barbell. Delivery is going to be able to get on that Boss Bandit. Not clean it up entirely just because Boss Bandit is so tanky. Still sitting at half HP. Another ability activated, so we do see that. We do see an ability pop from Sub. That cannon should be able to largely clean up. We do see a snowball just cycled. The tower slowed. Does allow that Boss Bandit to get a charge on the tower, and that is massive here. Pedro caught without his cannon, isn't able to reset the Ram Rider in time, and Sub with a huge damage advantage here. Definitely huge in this situation where Pedro's going to be vying for a lot of chip damage. Having that 500 damage lead is invaluable, especially since Sub has a, big spell, I guess, is able to do more damage here. We do see a pigs on the left-hand side trying to mix it up. Guards and Barbell are going to come down. Mostly negate that damage. Right-hand side still the weak side tower. Queen ability is able to take care of that Evo XE for the low cost of 1 elixir. If you're not playing your ability with Queen, you're basically making a mistake. The ability is the whole reason that Queen is such a good card. Do see lightning come down on that cannon and tower. Sub starting the spell cycle early. Not a very aggressive lightning to try to get a Ram Rider tower, but a lightning nonetheless. That is just guaranteed damage, and again, so important in these sets. Boss Bandit does get 2, maybe almost 3 slaps, but that is still 2 slaps is a huge damage. Sub dropping the Barbell and Evo Snowball to clean up those pigs there. Gonna be getting a little bit of chip damage. Ghost does come down to try to stop most of it. Probably gonna see a Queen ability here to just take out the Icy. Okay, Queen ability doesn't come out. Queen ability doesn't come out. It just lets those 2 units cancel each other out. I don't know. Questionable play not to pop the Queen ability there. Delivery does come down. Evo Cannon comes down in a far position to try to avoid as much lightning value as possible. Try not to give Sub that. Ram Rider is not going to be able to connect with that delivery there. And also cleaning up the Ghost there. This cannon position there is going to be able to avoid the lightning, but Guard still does get through with 2 stabs on the tower, and this is definitely not looking good for Pedro here. Evo actually pre-placed on the left-hand side. Queen spammed at the bridge to pressure out some elixir. We do see the ability this time. Boss Bandit dash back. Almost lets the Queen on the tower, but doesn't really. Saves a lot of health on that Boss Bandit, so great ability value on the Boss Bandit from Sub there. Log does knock back that Royal Ghost, so it isn't as effective as cleaning up those pigs. Pedro is getting a little bit of chip damage. It's definitely going to be very hard to come back for Pedro, but a little bit of chip and a little bit of EQ damage goes a long way here. Evo Snowball does come down on those pigs. Sub recognizing that the chip damage might lose him the game and just going full out on these defenses here and playing into the counter pushes, especially on the left side as well. Prediction Barbell does come down on some skeletons. It's definitely was meant for the cannon, but cannon still does go down. Guards are going to be able to pick up the pigs for a little bit. Don't see an Earthquake to completely take them out. But Earthquake chip damage coming down nonetheless. Evo Ice Spirit is going to be able to freeze that Ram Rider last second, but Boss Bandit that connects on the left side. Ram Rider almost gets to the tower with the lightning. Pedro might be able to get enough chip damage. No, those pigs don't get through for any reasonable damage, and Sub is going to be able to take this first game here. GG, Sub was definitely cooking with that. Lightning comes out at the end just to secure the win even more. Sub with the win there by a margin of 845. GG's. Yeah, great game indeed. Great game indeed. Still seeing some somewhat safe decks going into the first game here. You see the lineup sub 1-0 against Pedro. Did we not already see that set? Did we not already see that set? Yeah, shout out to sub for that. So what's going on, Zinky? What an emote too. What an emote too. These games would make for a great short. Siri, I don't know if you saw yesterday, but I had a great game that if you're willing to edit. It was like the most impossible matchup ever, and I somehow won. That would definitely be for a good short. I mean, I don't know about these matches, honestly. You could do a CRL highlights if you're willing to do that. If you're willing to do that. Depends how much you're willing to do, but there's definitely been some really exciting games today. And some highlights would definitely be in order. You know, like we can do a few matches like the last moments of them. What's going on, Anik? What's going on, Anik? And anything and everything, and Declan. Sorry, I wasn't seeing the YouTube chat there. Hello, Penguin. Who am I rooting for? I'm not really rooting for anybody. Mostly because I'm not allowed to. I'm not really allowed to pick favorites. Not really allowed to pick favorites. But, I mean, if I had to say who I'm predicting to win, it's probably, I would definitely think I'm seeing Sub and Pedro up there. Phil does not look like he's doing very great so far, getting 0-2'd in both sets. But we could see really anyone besides Phil at this point in the top 3. There's been a lot of upsets so far. Well, it's just not allowed, you know. They don't want to. You don't want a biased caster, you know. Like if you have a biased caster, it shows, you know. Like somebody just lays in Mo Light the whole time will definitely show up as unprofessional. All right, we are seeing the first tower troop of the day, at least from the gameplay shown on the feed here. So basically, Cannoneer is only played in Mortar Bait, so we're probably going to be seeing Mortar Bait here. The cards do align with that. And Pedro running some not Minor Cycle because of that Evo Zap. It's probably going to be Mega Knight if I had to guess. Mega Knight Minor decks usually run the Evo Zap as sort of a cheap small spell counter to annoying units. We do see a Boss Bandit here. I still think this is most likely Mega Knight from Pedro. Maybe a weird, interesting Minor Poison deck, but Zap wouldn't really have too much utility in a deck like this. Inferno Dragon from Sub. You don't usually see Inferno Dragon in Mortar Bait, but I guess that's just to have a nice tank counter. Not gonna be seeing any tank from Pedro yet, but if we do see a Mega Knight, that Inferno Dragon is gonna do nice against that. Pedro does have this Zap to reset. Cannoneer not helping out too much against this Minor Bats here. Almost taking that Cannoneer tower to half HP. These Bats and Minor pushes are gonna be very threatening. Sub is gonna have to use the arrows on the Bats a lot if Pedro plays his cards right, which, you know, as a top player he will. Evo Bats do come down. Evo Zap is going to be able to negate those, though. Not before Sub is able to get one mortar shot on the tower. Evo Wall Breakers do come down. Both connect. One in the second stage connects as well in the main stage. And that is going to be huge damage. Spirit Goblins are getting a lot of damage. Cannoneer slacking a little bit here. Not able to hit these units fast enough. Arrows do come down on the Bats. Able to force Sub's likely only spell out. Maybe Sub has a lightning stuck in there, but I kind of doubt it at this point. Goblins are not even able to clean up those wall breakers there, and Cannoneer literally just sitting and watching this all unfold at 19 HP. That is basically tower down on the left-hand side. Prediction Tesla does come down to predict a Desperation Mortar, but not yet. Sub is slowly building up a push here. That's what he's gonna need. Okay, it is just gonna be an interesting Minor Poison deck with the Evo Zap, which I definitely find interesting. But hey, it worked. It's clearly working right now. Not seeing a log, which is usually the standard for this deck. Evo Mortar is on the right-hand tower, but it's not gonna be enough. Pedro knows that. He's just sitting there taking a sip of his drink, ready for the next game, going 1-1 in this set. W commentator, yeah, I appreciate that. It's not that, Phil. It's not Phil.Osophy. Phil.Osophy ain't make it. We'd be here. We wouldn't hear the end of it if that was our Phil in CRL there. But GG's. GG's. Excited to see a 1-1 set. Yeah, Pedro. definitely have that game on lock there. No, they're coaches, not really. It's not. It's more analysts. They just pick out the decks. They just pick out the decks and do training with them. They don't really I mean, I'm not entirely aware of their activities, out of the games if they have coaches or not. It's definitely gonna be something for more professional players, but we are seeing a few semi-pros, not like entirely pros in this tournament since it was open to the community to join, but still seeing some world-class gameplay here. I can definitely guarantee that these people have analysts in there and they're at their disposal to help with the deck picks, because the deck having deck picks just taken care of is invaluable for this. Clash Royale emote reference? Ain't no way. Ain't no way. He's BMing on Cam, the Cam BM. The disrespect. The disrespect from these guys. No, we don't really see too much BM. All these players really respect each other. BM definitely doesn't look good, especially at this highest level. When you can see the dude behind the cam hitting the BM emotes too, that definitely doesn't look good on your public image at all. That can use, like, they can't play the same deck. Yes. They cannot repeat cards in the sets. That is a good question. So, not both decks we've seen from Sub and Pedro, none of those 16 cards can be used again. So that definitely does create some interesting deck choices. You've got to use your units efficiently. Gotta have a versatile pool of decks that don't really repeat cards. You gotta stay consistent with consistent decks, but at the same time you have to stay unpredictable. And that's the job of the analysts, to help them out with that. It's definitely a tall task, especially at the highest level. And a good or bad deck pick from an analyst can just completely turn the tide of a match. Yeah, it would take a long time, but it's a lot of BO3 sets. It's a lot of BO3 sets, so it does kind of even out in the end to a more fair experience. I do like the BO3 format. BO5 would, get way too many cards out and not allow for... It would definitely put people in weird decisions. Okay, we are seeing Drill, probably Evo Snowball from Sub, and Pedro with the RG. Both sides, again, opting to do very consistent decks. RG and Drill Cycle have been some of the most consistent and highest use rate decks, basically across this whole warm-ups here. We do see Evo Valk and Evo Ice Spirit, so it's not gonna be Evo Snowball Drill from Sub. It might be Wall Breakers instead. Wall Breakers are a big spell. Sub definitely has a secondary way to get damage here, at least I hope. And we're seeing Evo Hunter from Pedro. Evo Hunter basically just a very, very powerful card against tanks especially, but it's largely just seen in Royal Giants. We are seeing Monk too. This is going to be the RG Monk variation. Monk is definitely a pick where, if your opponent has ranged units like the Archer Queen, Monk is definitely a pick just to snipe those kind of picks here. We do see an Evo RG going in with this Monk at the bridge. Probably going to see an ability pot as well. Sub with the Inferno Tower. That's going to be huge. That's going to be huge going in the Pedro, especially with Fireball as a spell. So pretty good deck pick here from Sub. It's definitely looking like it's going to be in his favor, but with these caliber of players, it could really go either way. Fisherman last card from Pedro doesn't surprise me. Fisherman is usually always included in these RG decks. Queen does get decent value there, force out a Hunter. Pedro has definitely drained a little bit of Elixir. Barbell does come down, is able to clean up that Drill. Skelly surround to negate that Hunter's potential damage on tower, and both sides, not really too much damage to their names, just at a standstill right here. Elemental. Do see an Evo Valk in the back here. That Evo Valk could be counterproductive. Sometimes Evo Valk can just pull tanks, especially a Wincon closer to the tower. Doesn't look like it right now because Evo Valk is on Pedro's side of the arena. Evo Hunter is able to come down and net that down. RG does come in now that there's a few units for the Inferno Tower to target on instead. Inferno Tower does come down. Do we see another? Yes. Sub is able to get to another, and that's going to be able to clean up that push, even with the Fisherman helping out. Inferno Tower just has so much damage. I mean, sorry. It does so much damage, but it also has so much health. It's going to be very hard to break through. Do see an Evo RG coming down, but Inferno Towers, again, just going to be able to clean that up. Even a Fireball and 2 RG shots isn't going to be able to fully take out an Inferno Tower immediately if it's played responsibly to an RG, and that is just a huge interaction. That gives Inferno Tower enough time to warm up and do some serious damage, as well as any other support tubes sub plays here. So it's definitely not looking promising. Pedro with a decent damage advantage, but going into double and especially triple here, I think we're gonna see a lot more drill chip damage coming down here. That the Monk Reflection and the Fireballs on the tower so far have been adding up to some decent damage. Okay, we see Rocket from the sub here. Yeah, he's gonna be opting for a lot of Rocket Cycle. Pedro was not aware of that and allowed the Hunter to go to that Rocket, giving him some very decent value there. Evo Ice Spirit and Evo Valk going to be able to come down on that RG. Basically, I might not even have to use the Inferno Tower here. Still does have to play safe and use the Inferno Tower. A little bit of damage for on sub on the right-hand side, too. Pedro can basically now pick and choose which lane he wants to go on with no repercussions or damage disadvantage. Queen ability does come down, is able to clean up a lot of those support units. We're going to see a Monk ability. Again, we do see a Monk ability reflect the Queen and get more chip damage for Pedro. Pedro's actually doing a very great job staying in the damage lead right now, but Rocket Cycle is definitely going to come down. Sub at this point can still take it with just 2 rockets and not allowing Pedro to get too much damage. He's going to need some drill damage as well, because Pedro can stay in the race with Monk Reflection and Fireball Cycle as well. We do see another Monk ability come down, and yeah, that is going to get some decent chip damage. Pedro understands he needs to stay in the damage lead with just guaranteed Fireball Cycle. Is going to need to fully defend this drill to stay in it. Does fully defend the drill, picking it up with the guards, and Pedro's able to take that just with chip damage. I did not expect Sub to have Rocket or not Evo Snowball, so that definitely was a different story there in this matchup. GG's. Pedro plays that pretty well. Pedro takes it by a good margin there. Was only able to get 2 rockets down at the end there, and wasn't able to find any drill damage as well. So Pedro definitely with a comfortable victory there. Yeah, the sneaky Fisher too. Helping get a lot of damage as well. As any damage, especially like that, is invaluable. Just one slip up against a really well constructed push, and you're losing a ton of health, and then these players are going to be able to defend with very minimal elixir commits there. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Sub was in a position where it was very hard to get 2 rockets down. Even if he got 2 rockets down at the end, Fireball and Monk chip damage would have taken it anyways. But Pedro kept out the pressure as well with these RG pushes and was just able to get as much tower damage as he needed to take that there. Easy 1.6k W predictions. Appreciate you running them, Siri. Three for 3, congrats. You know a thing or two about these, huh? I do not believe Ian made. Yeah. I don't think Ian made it. I don't even think he made it into the event, actually. He didn't end up breaking in the top 24 and getting a spot. I'm like 90% sure. I'm 90% sure. Okay, thank you, Automod, for actually doing something. I appreciate it. Why are we saying that word? Alright. Why are we being naughty? Why are you being naughty? Oh yeah, I'm staying hydrated. I got a little bit of water. Don't want too much water because I have a notoriously small bladder, and don't really last too long after having a lot of water. I definitely don't want to step away from the screen to miss any of the action, and let anybody else miss any of the yapping as well. Yeah, I was definitely under that impression too, but the fact that Sub had Rocket there basically meant that he wasn't able to consistently get damage. A 6 elixir for a spell, even though Rocket does a lot of damage to the tower, is just such a commitment. And then after a 6 elixir Rocket, even in triple elixir when a lot of elixirs flowing, Pedro's just able to build a huge push there and break through. Okay, we're seeing Reuben and Furkan. can make that prediction. That would be nice. Seen another bush from Furkan here. Ice Spirit is going to be able to take out that bush, so not the best interaction. Furkan does not opt to defend that Ice Spirit. Just letting the one elixir go. But we're seeing another bush. Bush is not going to be very good in this match. He's got the Reuben's got the cannon, the delivery, the log to counter that. It's going to be able to get out like some spells. Okay, both sides losing their cams. Both sides up to something right now. Both sides up to something. As the pro players are, they just turning up the cans and handing it over to the actual player, huh? This set means a lot. This set means a lot. I don't blame them. Both sides handing their phones over to Mo Lights. He's playing 2 games at once, and he's gonna be playing them both very well. Pig splits from Reuben. Mega Knight does come down on the right hand side. Piggies are allowed to get a lot of chip on that left side, and Mega Knight coming down. Okay. We're having a little bit of... okay, cams are back. Cams are back. Mo Light is no longer pushing the players. We do see a miner come down on that queen. Are we going to see an ability? Yes, we do see an ability. It does allow that miner on tower for a few, Inferno tower for a few, but otherwise that queen would have gone down to the miner. Keeping that queen alive is definitely going to be on Reuben's bucket list for this match. You do see all 4 pigs right side with the queen here. Prince and Gang isn't going to be able to clean it up. Prediction Log is able to clip all of those regular goblins there, but still Spirit Goblins Prince push coming down. On the right hand side, Delivery is able to clean that up for full. What are we going to see on this bush here? Ice Spirit and Skeletons should be enough. Okay, Reuben lets a little bit of damage go. 1 swing isn't too bad. Still a decent amount of damage, but unless 2 of those Globber Bush Goblins are getting on the tower, it's not too big of a deal. Especially for Reuben with this good damage advantage. We're seeing the same deck from Furkan again. This Mega Knight Evo Lumberjack Bush deck. Very interesting deck. I like to see interesting decks like these played at the highest caliber. It definitely makes for some interesting, never before seen gameplay. Are we going to see a Mega Knight on the left hand side? No, just arrows to hit both those cannons there and threaten with the Prince a little. Delivery does have to come down. Is he going to let the Evil Eye Spirit connect? It's not going to let the Evil Eye Spirit connect. It does 200% more damage than a regular Eye Spirit on tower, so that's definitely not something you want to let go. That's definitely something you want to spend elixir on, especially when damage matters so much here. Delivery does come down in the bush. Miner getting a little bit of chip damage. It doesn't look like that Evil Lumberjack is going to be able to make it to tower. Yeah, it's not going to be able to stay in the range of the rage. If an Evo Lumberjack is allowed on tower, it's basically wraps, especially if it's for full damage, because with the new Evo Lumberjack rework, it is 2 cycles instead of 1, but the Ghost just does so much more damage. We do see a Raged Up Bush and Inferno drag there. It doesn't look like it's going to be able to get through for anything because of these cannons. Reuben is basically able to keep a cannon on the board 24/7, especially with Furkan having only arrows as a spell. That definitely doesn't help in this. Mega Knight is going to be good on defense against pigs, but Reuben able to consistently get chip damage, and staying with a 600 damage lead going into this. Ice Spirit is going to be able to clean all that up. And Reuben, especially going in the triples, just keeping multiple cannons on the board on 24/7. It's going to be very hard for Furkan to break through here. He's got to stay in the chip race with some minor hits, and then gotta hope he gets a breakthrough of his units. He's not gonna only win this by a chip damage at this point, and he knows it. He's building up a lot of pushes here. Opted to go split lane too. Split lane is smart here. His goal on the split lane push is gonna be able to get more elixir out from his opponent than he spends there. But with these cannons in the middle and just Delivery to kite everything, Queen staying constantly on the board for the 3-card cycle, it's definitely very challenging. Doesn't look like we're seeing a ability come down on that Queen. Evo Lumberjack is going to be able to get rid of that. Bush spam on the left as well as a Lumberjack. Going with this Bush Lumberjack push a lot, but is able to be defended pretty well by just a simple can in the middle. Mega Knight does get scarily close to that tower. Cannon does catch it. Inferno Dragon is blocked here. Earthquake does come down. Reuben barely maintaining the damage lead, but with how hard it is for Furkan to get damage with this deck, it's not looking good. Evo Cannon and Evo Ice Spirit does come down. Miner with a little bit of chip damage, but Reuben barely takes that there, and that's all you really need with this deck. 300 damage win from Reuben here, and he's taken game 1 here. GG's. GG's. Yes, we promote responsible gambling here. We promote responsible gambling here. Oh my god, HF. Mods? Behave. Behave, HF. I wouldn't... Who? Behave. Bet all your points. I hope it definitely goes your way. I'd oh, and lost. Yeah. Darn, that's unfortunate. They're in a bad word still. Come on. Come on, we're not calling people that in a CRL cast, alright? Dude, do I really need to ramp up the moderation to, like, maximum for these? I put it at moderates. The way it looked, I thought that would be enough. Reuben is on par with Light. See, I don't know about that. If that was true, Reuben would have won a few World Finals. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he hasn't played Piggies in a minute. It's refreshing to see that. Yeah, the deck definitely didn't help out there, but you know, it's game one. It's not the end all be all here. And with an interesting deck like that, Furkan is leaving his options open, whereas Reuben, he can't really use cycle. Can't really use cycle anymore. Not having that cannon basically means if he wants to play a cycle deck, he's gonna have to play Tesla, which isn't as good as a building. So his cycle options are limited here. He's probably gonna opt for heavier decks, but he's still got a lot of options. You know, only 8 cards. Only 8 cards not allowed to play. These players, analysts, are going to be giving them a lot of options. They're definitely going to come prepared here. To an Undead. And to be as well. Hello. Holy, we need the whole cold watch time there. Alright, starting this off with a Fire Spirit, the bridge. Both sides rocking the Evo Dark Goblin here. Snowball is able to counter that. Evo Snowball, this kind of makes me think Furkan is running a drill deck here. Maybe even Goblin Barrel. Maybe like the Hypno, like a variation of the Hypno deck here. We could see that, and looks like Reuben might be playing more of a Mega Knight bait deck, kind of doing the Uno reverse on Furkan here, him bringing out Mega Knight bait in the first set. We do see a bush. From Reuben. Looks like Reuben almost just straight up copy pasted the deck. We are seeing an Inferno Tower. So if Reuben is running the Mega Knight, that's gonna be a godsend for Furkan here. Is able to take care of the bush as well. Multi-purpose Inferno Tower there. Definitely getting its elixir worth of value. Little bit of Goblin Chip on Furkan's right-hand tower, but not too much. Not too much, especially with this matchup. That's not going to be game-ending interaction. I do see Skeleton Army, so this kind of makes me think Furkan's running Drill again. You kind of know what Reuben's playing. We're going to see a Spell and probably Miner. If I had to guess, we're going to be seeing Arrows. If he doesn't have Arrows, is going to be definitely in trouble. Against. Okay, Mega Knight almost activates King Tower, but not at enough health, so a little bit of a waste of elixir there. It does keep the Mega Knight off the tower, but that's about it. That's about it. Bush Goblins are revealed by that snowball there, but big spam on the left-hand side here. Evo Dark Goblin does come down to boil that Prince down and is going to be effective at doing so. Cleans up all that swarm too. Evo Dark Goblin from both sides, just able to clean up these tanks. Bandit almost is allowed to dash on the left-hand side. Furkan has to play a Panic Inferno Tower to get that down. Evo Dark Goblin is allowed to connect for 2 shots on the right-hand side. Poison's going to do additional damage. Not a good position for Furkan to be in here. Definitely. And Reuben, if I had to guess, yes, there we go. We see the arrows there at the last second. Skeleton Army does come down last second as well. Tried not to be predictable with that swarm, and Reuben does bite on hitting the Dart Goblin with the arrows. My goodness, we're seeing the pixels coming out from Furkan. I hope he has good connection, at least, if the cam isn't looking that good. We do see a Drill Snowball almost getting damaged there, but Bandit is able to clean that up. See a Bats the Bridge as well to clean up all the Skeleton King swarm, but Fireball is able to deal with those bats. Well played on that Fire Spirit. That one elixir interaction, allowing him to clean up those bats and get some good elixir value on some huge drill chip on the tower as well. Yeah, we do see Poison as Furkan's last spell here. Poison is going to do a lot, especially on offense, comboed with these drills here. And Furkan does find his way back into the damage lead here. A decent margin. Dark Goblin spammed at the bridge. Is soaked by Reuben's Dark Goblin, but yeah, the Dark Goblin's not going to start shooting enough, and that is 2 shots allowed on the tower. Furkan definitely with the advantage here. Inferno Tower placed in a rather safe position on the right, not allowing any Dark Goblin snipes or pressure on the left side to take out that Inferno Tower. It is going to stay on the board for a little bit, so it's going to be hard for Reuben to push into that. Evo Mega Knight does come down. Evo Snowball is going to be able to let those Goblins connect for a huge amount. Skeleton King Skeletons do get 1 shot on the tower, too. And that Infinite Poison is chipping on the tower there, too. Oh my goodness, that's devastating. It's devastating. 2 Inferno Towers on the board from Furkan, too. Inferno the middle, as well as the defensive drill. Furkan knowing he can just, all he's got to do at this point is hunker down and maybe get a little bit of spell chip. But he really doesn't even have to get damage at this point. Likely going to opt to just defend all these pushes here. Another safe placed Inferno Tower near the right-hand side. Dark Goblin and Snowball are going to be able to clean up that bush. Does get a decent amount of elixir out, but that's just a desperation push on the left-hand side. Fire Spirit and Skeleton Army are going to be able to take that out. Reuben only having arrows here is definitely devastating, and it looks like this game, this set is going to go 1-1. We're seeing a lot of 1-1 games so far. Not really seeing the blowout fill sets, but more exciting games like this. Snowball and Poison are going to be able to finish off that tower. And GG's. Furkan takes this one. Going 1-1 here. This is we've seen a whole lot of close games. Has there been a single? I can't remember. Has there been a single blowout set? I don't think so. I don't think so. Yo, shout out soccer. This is not soccer, but at the end of the day, I kind of wish it was. I kind of wish it was. Clown going 2-0 going. Okay, yeah. I think it's whoever Phil is. I don't think we're ever gonna know, unfortunately. Yeah, he's got 0-2 every single set against these guys. So if I had to guess, he's a little bit of a rookie who found his way through the CRL qualifiers and I guess just didn't have what it takes to get a single win against these guys. So unfortunate. I don't think we're gonna be seeing Phil in the finals here, but it seems like every other player has a decent chance. We hopefully should see the scores at this point, because I'm not willing to do all that math, you know. It gets beat down. Yeah, the Infinite Poison needs to go. Like, what Evo Dark Goblin should do, you know, there's like stages to the poison where like the maximum one is red and does a lot of damage. Once it stops shooting, it should like every second it should scale down, like whatever the like level of the poison was once the Dark Goblin dies, so it doesn't just infinitely poison units. It'll still get a lot of damage based on how long it locked onto the thing, but it won't just have infinite poison. Because if you get an Evo Dark Goblin for a good connection on a Golem push, it's 3 elixir, and it will melt the whole Golem and all the support units behind it. It's like, yeah, that's just crazy elixir. And, you know, it's kind of like giving peak Evo E-Drag vibes there. Just like so much elixir. If you don't have a counter for it, it's basically wraps. But very good game so far. I'm excited to see what decks both sides are gonna bring out here. We saw Mega Knight bait on both sides, and both sides Mega Knight bait was bested. So I guess not too good of a choice that deck has been. But rest in peace, Phil. Rest in peace, Phil. There. No random nobody qualified. Are you talking about Sosa? I definitely know who Sosa is. I honestly forgot who you said qualified. You get Nigo with this one? Hello, Extreme. Hello, Extreme, if I didn't say hi already. Since when does this emote exist? I recently added it and everybody said they liked it, so W emote. W emote, right? What do you think about that? I will do anything. Alright. Alright, let's calm down. It's not that deep. It's not that deep. Okay, but we know who Jay is rooting for here. Top tier emote. Okay, I'm glad we like it. Glad we like the new emote combo here. Not gonna give points back to the scammer. Who's the scammer? Me? Me? Oh, read the whole thing? Oh, do I have to? Let me see. Can we read what Siri said? Oh my god, he really just... If we all collectively agree to cancel the prediction so that Extreme gets his point back, that would be a Samaritan act. We're not doing that. We're not doing that unless it's like Extreme accidentally put like 1,000,000 points. Oh my God, Jay going all in. Jay going all in on Reuben. Jeez, I don't really suggest that. Not ruining for anybody, but like the payout here, bro. The payout here. Put 50K and it vanished? What? I mean, hopefully you still get paid out. It might just not be showing or something. I hope you still get paid out though. Non-family friendly. Wait, what is Nightbot saying? Oh, oh God. Okay. Okay. That is definitely a problem that could have been anticipated, but I guess I didn't see that. Oh, he's done. I don't see the lineups right now, but what's going on, Penguins? Are they gonna? Okay, they're not showing the lineups here. I guess it's do or die. Really? Okay, I guess we're seeing double elixir. I guess we're seeing double elixir. It doesn't look like much has happened on either side. Not too much damage from either side here. We do see a drill snowball. Oh my God. But hey, I told you there would be problems. I told you there'd be technical difficulties, and boy did we get them. We're seeing Hog Earthquake. Haven't really seen that much Hog at the competitive level like this. And Evo Archers from Reuben. Both sides mixing up their cards here for sure. Evo Tesla from Furkan, first time we're seeing that played. Is not able to pick up the exact drill placement, so Reuben does net himself a little bit of Goblin Ship and the early damage lead here. Defensive Earthquake does come down. That's getting a lot of value right there. But Reuben does have the Inferno Tower. I'm just noticing now because we just got here. So that's going to be able to consistently soak those hogs. So Furkan's going to have to opt for either a huge hog push to get through or just Earthquake damage. And being in the damage deficit at this point is not convenient whatsoever. Furkan also running Phoenix. It's interesting to see that Phoenix. Like, you wouldn't think Phoenix is good in these type of decks, but Phoenix is just an all-around pretty decent support unit on defense and go into offense, especially if the egg is allowed to hatch. You do need to sometimes commit Elixir against that to not allow the opponent to get another Phoenix on the board. Another Phoenix come down. It's also slow, so you can just slow roll it in the back and be pretty safe. Log does come down at the opportune timing to not allow any Goblin Ship on the tower. These are the interactions you need to know at the highest tier to be able to defend these drills, especially since it's such a popular archetype. We do see another drill at the front. Reuben not really switching up his drill placements too much, and we do see a poison come down, so Reuben's last card is poison, and that's going to be able to get a decent amount of chip, and probably going to be able to negate any chip that Furkan gets with the Earthquake. And Reuben does get a whole lot of damage on that left side as well. And these hogs have not broken through for a single hit, and I wouldn't be surprised if they don't break through for a single hit the entire rest of the match here. Snowball does come down in that drill. Furkan not too happy to take all that damage. Reuben with a commanding lead, especially going in the triple elixir here, which I guess it happened fast because we didn't see the first 2 minutes of the game. The world will never know what happened there. Except the 47 people watching. Snowball does come down to just get chip damage on the left-hand side. Reuben switching up lanes at this point, having the damage advantage over there. Earthquake Log does come down on those Evo Archers for Furkan. A little bit of a desperation play, but it's really his only way to deal with those Evo Archers at this point. Another set of Archers on the board to deal with the Phoenix. Hog Rider placed behind the Phoenix as well. Still, with that Earthquake and Hog, it's not going to be able to break through the Inferno Tower. He's just not able to get, Reuben's just not able to get a Hog connection here at all. Evo Ice Spirit does come down in the drill. That's going to be able to largely clean it up, but yeah, it's not looking good for Furkan here. Reuben takes this set and stays in this race here for top 3. Yay, shout out Reuben. Jay's happy. Jay's happy here. W payout. I hope you get your points back, Eastern. I hope Scammer doesn't get scammed here. What's going on, Aqua and Stoner? How you doing? How you doing? We just cast in CRL. We're chilling. Everything's fine in the world. Yeah, Jay's getting rich with this one. Yeah, W Stoner boy on the YouTube. Shout out the best YouTube mod to ever do it. What's going on, Jor? Hello. Yeah, huge payout for Jay here. Is very professional at this. Yeah, Nick. I mean, yeah. I mean, like, I'm not entirely professional. I still try to keep it a little silly, but like compared to the normal content, this definitely makes me look very professional. I'm trying my best. I try my best here. Did they really scam your points? I mean, if they scammed your points, even like refunding the prediction, I don't think would have given it to you. You meant to do 5K? Yikes. Yikes, you threw an extra 0 in there. At least you didn't throw an extra 0 accidentally when gifting subs. That would have been, which people have been doing recently, that would have been a bit of a problem. Shrek Cam coming in. Just a fair warning. Just a fair warning. My God, we're doing a little bit of oh, this, if you won that, you would have, I don't think you would have ever been past stuff, but rough. Yeah, Extreme apparently put 50k points on the prediction and they just disappeared. Like, they weren't even on either side, he didn't get them back. He must have done it like the microsecond that like the prediction ended or something. I don't know, but I don't know. Unfortunate. I'm sorry about that. I don't think there's anything I can really do about that. And we do see the leaderboard here. Phil, definitely. It's not looking good for Phil whatsoever. Furkan and Sub still could come back here. Depends on Clown and Reuben's run. And Pedro with a commanding lead. Basically, we can guarantee, we can almost guarantee that Pedro's going to be in the top 3 at this point. All he has to do is not, like, completely throw every set. And with a player like Pedro, that's very possible. That's very possible. I still believe Phil. Yeah. I'm putting the house on Phil. Putting the house on Phil. You can get your house 10 times over if he somehow takes this. Yeah, Phil's not doing too good. Phil's not doing too good right now. You're still gonna be a very good player to compete at this level, but if we're going off the assumption that Phil is just a rookie in this and made his way through the warm-up qualifiers, then he's not gonna have as much experience as these other players here. Lettuce speeder, no J's. I'm very tempted to, as soon as that thing gets redeemed, it's going to 1,000,000 points, because I'm not gonna be excited to do that again. I can't just eat a whole head of lettuce, every other week, right? All my life savings on Phil. I mean, you definitely could. I don't recommend that investment, but I think you'd 100 times your bet. I think you'd 100 times your bet there, minimum. Alright, we get into the Pedro v Reuben game. Extreme made us rich. Did you really get extreme points? I'm sorry about that. Sorry about that. Both sides exchanging a few love emotes, but both opting to leak here. Are we going to see 2 heavy decks? No, okay. We see Skeleton Cycle from Pedro after the pleasant exchange, emotes exchange there. E-Spirit as well at the bridge. This is likely going to end up being RG because you don't... Yeah, there we go, Evo Hunter. This is for sure going to be RG from Pedro here. No other deck you want to activate King. You give him a King Tower activation like that. And Reuben whipping out the guards and bowler. It could be graveyard. It could be like giant graveyard as well. NATO too. That definitely tells me that there's gonna be some sort of graveyard deck. Maybe not. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe Ram Rider as well. Evo Valk. Okay, it definitely looks like it's gonna be graveyard. Okay, there we go. We see the graveyard. Probably graveyard freeze here. So graveyard freeze versus RG Monk game here. Early graveyard does net Reuben over 1,000 damage there, which is huge. Pedro does have a very cheap response with the E-Spirit to graveyards here, especially the graveyard freeze. Xe is able to clean up both lanes there. Expertly played Xe and timed as well. Both sides just sitting at 7 elixir right now. Reuben with the Xe on the board as well. Now let's go guards behind this for a little bit of spam. NATO does not allow the Evo Xe to activate King Tower, and instead it gets a through shot on the tower for huge damage. Reuben with a commanding damage lead going into this. We do see an RG right hand side, but Inferno Dragon to pick that up. We haven't seen Pedro's big spell yet, but E-Spirit and Barbarrel does come down to reset the Inferno Dragon. Very well played there, almost getting Pedro back into the lead. Pedro tries to go for another King Tower activation and is going to be able to get it this time, but at what cost? Reuben is able to get about 500 damage, 600 damage here with that graveyard almost, and Pedro does have the King Tower at his disposal now. But Reuben, especially with the Graveyard Freeze, this is most likely going to be, is going to be able to get that damage whenever he wants. It's just about Pedro keeping the pressure up and trying his hardest to knock him the opportunity. Setting up a lot of beefy defense units on the right-hand side for the next RG. Reuben understanding he can't let any big RG pushes through. He's just got to play it safe. He's just got to play it safe. That XE. Yeah, that XE. Oh, really bad Fisherman. Really bad Fisherman from Pedro. That's going to lose him the game right there. That Fisherman on the XE is going to allows it to get a through shot there. And even with all those graveyard defense cards, it is not looking good. Maybe Pedro could still come back here, as Reuben does not have a a guaranteed way, let's say, to get damage. He's only got freeze and the NATO, and those don't do too much tower damage. Still might be able to break through here with this Evo RG. Does get almost 3 shots. Defensive freeze does come down there. That was looking a little scary for Pedro for a second. Executioner is not allowed to lock on. Almost gets there. Almost gets there. Don't see a bowler connection there. Pedro making sure that doesn't happen again. Inferno Dragon on the RG is going to come down. Fireball to knock it back, but NATO to bring it back as well. E-Spirit does come down to reset the Inferno Dragon, but guards are able to DPS it down. Graveyard is not tanked for anymore, but could find its way to getting a few chip shots and the freeze as well. Fireball, defensive Fireball needs to come down on the Graveyard. That is not a good situation to be in whatsoever. Just two more skeleton hits, as well as a freeze, maybe a NATO is going to be enough for Reuben to take this, but it could still go Pedro's way. It's not looking promising at this point, especially with the Graveyard Freeze coming down, and that is going to be GG's. Reuben takes that. That huge single elixir push. If it weren't for that single elixir damage, Pedro would have been able to go a lot more aggressive there. But that single elixir damage that Reuben got was just huge in turning the game, and that's what won it for Reuben. GG's. GG's. Yeah, we've seen a lot of comebacks. Like, if we look at this right now, if we look at the scoreboard right now, literally every single set has been 2-1, except Phil's. Except Phil's, but you know, we don't judge. We listen. We listen and we observe and we support. Yeah, Phil on an unfortunate run. He might come back. He might come back. You never know. He might claim some wins at the very end. Yeah. Yeah. Looks like, I mean, you can't say for sure, but I hope to see another 2-1 set. That is gonna take the casting a little longer, but the more gameplay the better. More gameplay the better. I'm excited to be able to see all of this. Oh shoot, what did I just do? I hope that didn't mess up the screen. That would be a little unprofessional. That would be a little unprofessional of me. No stream the night after work. It depends how tired I am. I'll try to go for it, but yeah, it really depends. It really depends. So keeps clowning Phil. I mean, I'm sorry, but it's very evident. He hasn't really won a single game. He hasn't really won a single game yet. Besides that, it's been very contested matches between all these other players. I mean, yeah, I guess I could do it. I guess I could do it for the U's, guys. I'll try. I'll try my hardest. Doc, surely we'd be going live after this. Come on. Since when do you not stream Saturday, Sunday? I've been watching you, like, I've been having you tabbed up at work. When I'm at work in the mornings. Like, for the past few weeks. That wasn't just a March thing, I guarantee you. Okay. Pedro and Reuben back in this. Reuben with the 1-0 lead against Pedro so far with that huge win with Graveyard Freeze there. Pedro losing a very consistent deck, getting RG out, and Reuben opting for a more unorthodox Graveyard Freeze deck. Not seen too much in comp here. Looks like we see an Evo Snowball from both sides. Here we go. We're opting for the consistent decks now. Likely gonna be Drill from both sides, seeing all of these support cards so far, but we'll find out. Okay, it's gonna be Drill from Pedro here. Cannon does come down to, it's still gonna be able to catch that Drill in that position. Goblin is not allowed on tower. Cannon is able to ensure that, and Neither side really getting too much damage right now. Both sides at 10. We're just cycling. We do see a drill from Reuben as well. It's going to be a largely drill mirror matchup. Pedro opted to go Tesla. I guess trying to keep Cannon as an option for the third game. Because Pedro needs to win this. Pedro needs to win this and then the next game. So he's keeping Cannon cycling Reuben. Just allowing himself to use the Evo Cannon there. Evo Cannon is just such a defensive powerhouse. Evo Snowball does come down, but is not able to get any damage with that log there. We see an Evo Ice Spirit as well. With these cycle decks, these players ensure that they're playing their Evos very early. Usually you don't see Evos until double Elixir with the way you have to cycle them. Oh, a little bit of a mistake there on the Tesla. It does allow 3 nice swings, but that's not too bad since Pedro has the damage deficit on the left-hand side. But you don't really want to give Reuben the opportunity to switch his towers at will. Looks like they are going to be going opposite lane for the remainder of the match. Reuben gets some huge goblin shots. Bomber is not perfectly timed on that drill. There is a placement where you can perfectly counter the drill with the bomber. Not perfectly, but you can counter it for a lot less damage on the tower. Did not get that timing there, so let a lot of damage go. Spirit Goblin's also connected on Pedro's right side tower here. Poison does come down on the Little Prince, but it's not looking good. It's not looking good here. Pedro then doesn't get the good bomber timing on the last stage of goblins. And we still see both their cams moving. Okay, so I can only anticipate. Who do we think's gonna have the damage advantage once did the iPad die? Did the iPad die? Yeah, where'd the gameplay go? Alright, okay, I guess I'm gonna commentate the cams. A little bit of a head nod for Reuben, a little bit of a head nod for Pedro as well, but Reuben definitely with the did somebody win or dude, at this point let me control. Let me control the broadcast. Did somebody win or I can't even analyze their facial expressions now. I can't even analyze their cams. Okay, well, I guess we'll find out who won that game in a little bit. Lovely weather we're having, aren't we? Lovely weather, isn't it? You checked the Royale API. I guess you can do that, yeah. I guess you can do that. Yeah, somebody give me comms on what Royale API. What Royale API? The president cut off the broadcast? Nah, why'd he do that? New sanctions came in. CRL isn't allowed to be broadcasted. Pedro won it? Okay, I'll take your word for it. I guess Pedro took that game, and if that is true, we're looking at another 1-to-1 set. Hopefully we get to see the final match of that. Okay, this is not the place to ask for single middle-aged ladies, Doc. Oh my god. Make sure. I guess we could check Royale API real quick. I guess we could check. Let's see if we can find Pedro. No, Reuben will probably be easier to find. Pro, there we go. Battles. We haven't seen the results yet. This is the best I can do. We can just keep refreshing the feed. We can just keep refreshing the feed until we see the outcome. Oh god, what does this come to? Oh yeah, okay, we're back in. Oh. Okay, Reuben won it 2-0. Reuben won it 2-0. At least we got to see. That's the first 2-0 set besides any sets from Phil there. So yeah, Reuben's able to take that and stay in this match. Pedro did have the #1 spot. Okay. Oh, come on. Are they showing the replay? Okay, they're showing the replay. Okay, that helps. That helps. I guess I'll commentate the replay. We already know what's happening, but Drill comes down. Log is able to pick up that Ice Spirit. Snowball to knock the guards off that Drill. Drill is able to get a little bit of chip damage there. And, yeah, it's not looking good for Pedro. We already know how this goes. Yada, yada. Yeah, it's weird seeing it from this perspective where you can see the player's hands. Weird seeing it from this perspective. Drill, it does get a little bit of damage there as well as the poison, but still Reuben with a huge damage lead going in the triple elixir here. Boss Bandit does come down in the back. It is able to get on that Drill for the perfect counter, even into the Snowball and the Evo Cannon, but Reuben is just in such a good damage lead. Doesn't have a big spell, but Drill Evo Snowball might as well be. Might as well be with all the guaranteed damage it's allowed to get. Yep, Evo Snowball Drill here. Picks up an Ice Spirit as well. Drill is allowed on the tower. And, yeah, it's looking all but over. We already know Reuben wins this. Spoiler alert. I'm casting you from the future. And, yeah, Reuben takes that 2-0. At least we got to see a little bit of the exciting parts. What's going on, Glizzy? This has been one of the CRLs ever so far. My goodness. In 30 minutes, wow, Jay's profiting. Jay's profiting before GTA 6. So the amount of stuff that's happened before GTA 6 is kind of insane. Kind of insane here. Yeah, so we see the updated 2-0 set for Reuben there, and it's been an interesting match so far. Shrek the Caster's back. Shrek the Caster's back. Clown versus Furkan. That's gonna be one of the sets of all time for real. What's going on, Peaceful Dude? Hello. Hi. It's okay. Who said what now? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Let's not do the prediction yet, because from what we've seen so far, we can't really predict what match is gonna happen next. So we should be safe. Okay. If it's not Clown. If it's not Clown and Furkan, we can refund them. We can cancel the prediction, I guess. We can cancel the prediction for sure. Hopefully we get into this next match soon with all the delay and whatnot. The broadcast did show the replay, so that gave them time to set up for the next match, hopefully. Yeah, last match of the round, but like I'm saying, we can't really expect too much from the broadcast. There's been a lot of notable mess ups here. A lot of notable mess ups. But yeah, let's just assume that this is the set. Get your predictions in. Clown Furkan. You can see the records so far. Doesn't look like we've seen a Clown Furkan set so far. This is gonna be the first time they're matching up here, so interested to see what this set holds. Is round 4? Yeah, we got Clown and Furkan here, round 4. Unless that's inaccurate. Well, we will see. We will see for sure. And W everybody participate in the predictions. Rare opportunity to get some points in. Alright. Don't make me stall. Too long. A little bit of a lull in the broadcast. We might even find ourselves just straight up in round 5 and the gameplay might not even be casted. I really hope that is not the case. Sounds like Jay is going in on Cloud. We got an even 50-50 prediction so far. In 50-50. Okay, we are seeing Cloud and Furkan. Good. And we actually get into the first game here with no delays. That's what I like to see. Clown with the camera tracking, unless somebody moved it for him. That's good to know. Now with the fancy old cam. Okay, we see Evil Bats and Goblin Gang from Clown. It could be, okay, we also see Cannoneer, I'm just noticing. So it's going to be, basically, Cannoneer is only used in Mortar Bait. So once you see that, you basically know the deck. It's a deck that's revealed pretty quick anyways once you see the card. So Cannoneer isn't, like, the dead giveaway isn't really that much of a disadvantage. And it looks like we're going to be seeing that Ram Rider Evo XC deck from Furkan. So I definitely believe Furkan is going to have the advantage here. Has a whole lot of Swarm counters. You know, Clown is going into this with a lot of Swarm. But he does have the Cannoneer. Cannoneer is definitely going to help out against every single one of Furkan's units, except the potential guards. But Furkan actually doesn't have guards in this variation because he's playing Royal, Ghost, and Bandits, so this version of the deck doesn't have that. Probably going to be seeing Lightning and Ram Rider last cards from Furkan. Neither side having any damage to their names right now. We are seeing Minor Mortar Bait here. Spear Goblin's not allowed in the tower, but Minor getting some decent chip damage. We see a Ram Rider spam left side. Clown not having Mortar and Cycle. That Ram Rider does get to the tower for 3 shots, a charge, and 2 other shots. That is a huge damage lead for Furkan here. Clown not having any damage to his name. Evo Wexy is going to be able to perfectly clean up both lanes. Beautifully timed Evo Wexy to target onto the gang first. And beautiful angle. This, not having NATO with this Evo Wexy really brings out the best of these players when they're placing their Xy's, and we've seen a lot of good plays. I haven't really seen a Evo Xe lineup mess up today. Spear Goblins are caught by that Bandit there. Half health Bandit is going to be caught by the Miner though. Both sides just cycling. Clown opting to play a passive defensive mortar to be ready for the next Ram Rider. Ghost is spammed at the bridge. What will pick it up? Lightning does come down just to cycle onto that mortar and tower. Ghost is going to be able to get one shot on tower as well as kill the gang and the Spear Gobs. That Ghost getting huge, massive value. The Evil Mortar does come down. Furkan not having lightning and cycle would be huge lightning value to get this off the board. Cannon Cart does go second stage here. Is not going to be protected. Oh, Grand Rider does get the charge on the Cannon Cart, but also gets it on the Evil Mortar eventually. One Evil Mortar shot for Clown here, but that's not going to do too much damage. Furkan still with a 1300 and more damage lead here. Evo Xe does catch that mortar. Ghost on the right hand tower too as well. Almost evening the tower damage. Clown is definitely not in a good spot here, and I doubt is going to find a good way to break through. He basically needs to get a mortar or some other huge connection at this point. Evo Bats do come down, but they are not able to heal enough to survive that snowball. Even though he got the Evo snowball up, is he able to clean those up pretty easily. Double Bandit push on the left is able to be caught by the gang. No ability seen since that boss Bandit was already low enough health. Mortar is going to be caught by this Xe here. Doesn't look like he's going to do anything against that, so Hexy's going to be able to cancel out that mortar there. Ram Rider charging towards the tower. Snowball comes down in a huge charge there. That's just going to be a few snowballs and a lightning range for Furkan. Probably going to opt to play it safe though and defend, because Clown has got a lot of pressure on both sides right now. Still opportunities to break through. If that Cannon Cart gets on tower, might be trouble. Cannon Cart does connect on the left-hand side. But with that new Cannon Cart interaction, when it reaches second stage, it retargets, so that wasn't completely latched on the tower. Oh my goodness! Oh my god, right, the Miner and the Evo Mortar locked in on the right side. Huge pressure from Clown on both sides, and Clown is able to come back there. Holy, Clown with a huge comeback. Wasn't expecting that. Furkan with a little bit of a I held back so much there. We all saw that, but Furkan with a little bit of a get up there. I would definitely be upset after a match like that too. What's going on, Cool Deep? What's going on, Cool Deep? And Clown takes that 1-0. Hopefully we see another 2-1 set here though. You said with a huge comeback. A lot of early on mistakes. And it was just very hard to defend. Needed like pixel perfect micros and defense to keep those Ram Riders off in single elixir, but it just didn't happen in single. But Clown was able to come back in a huge way there, and get his swarm, and most importantly, Cannon Cart on the left side. Cannon Cart connected on the left side, so my bad. So Furkan had to use the Evo Xe to make the second stage of the Cannon Cart retarget, so it didn't take the left-hand side. But in the meantime, that Evo Mortar, perfectly sequenced, perfectly timed with the Cannon Cart push, was able to find its way on the tower, because Furkan couldn't time both of those pushes correctly to be able to defend both, and that's what took the game right there. That Evo Mortar connection was Clown's only hope, and he was able to get it done. Yeah, Nightbot might need a ban. Nightbot might need a ban, bruh. Okay, and stream elements too. God. You guys aren't making me look very good right now. Guys aren't making me look very good. Imagine I send this to somebody who's interested in me casting a main event, and this is what I got. I'm screwed. I'm screwed. You're gonna need the Persia chat. You're gonna need the Persia chat. Thank you, James. What's going on, Banjo? Hello. Hello. Shout out the mods for real. Shout out the mods. Don't ban my boy Nightbot. He's kinda... I mean, if I ban him, the filter is gone, so I kinda need him. I mean, yeah, you're a little late. We're going in the round 5 right now. You missed 4 out of the 5 sets, but I will have the VOD. Posted on Twitch and YouTube too. It's definitely a lot better to watch on Twitch if you want to do ! Twitch. It's got the full stream. You don't even need an account to watch. You can just watch without an account. It's probably better if you want to chat. You can still come back to the YouTube and do that. Even if you don't have an account. But yeah, even without a count, you can still see the VOD. That's where it's gonna be horizontal format with you can see everything. It's not cropped out awkwardly, and then you get the caster cam as well. And we just got the full experience over here. See, look, got the caster cam. We got me with the Hulk filter because when my cam decided to break, I guess it removed the filter too. So that's that's annoying. That's definitely annoying for sure. Alright, we are in with the second game of the set against Furkan and Clown. Clown with that massive comeback last game in the 1-0 set advantage here. Let's see what both sides bring out. Furkan bringing out the Ice Spirit and Log here, opting for some sort of cycle deck. We don't really know yet. Clown with the Barbell. Okay, we see guards here. This is probably going to be some sort of drill deck here. From Furkan, if I had to guess. And we see a Valk from Clown. Not entirely sure what Clown could be playing at this point, but we see a regular Valk from Furkan, Evo Valk from Clown. Inferno Giant. Is this gonna be Graveyard Freeze here from Clown? Graveyard Freeze, perhaps. We do see a Queen, so I'm still predicting Drill from Furkan here. Evo actually is able to get 2 through shots on that Queen, but ability is popped for huge value there. Okay, yes, we do see a Drill from Furkan. And I'm predicting Graveyard Freeze here from Clown. Is able to get that huge King Tower activation with the side place Drill. Furkan definitely not a fan of that. Only drill spawn damage for Furkan so far. So having that King Tower is huge for defending these drills a lot more efficiently. Especially since Clown's last cards are likely going to be Graveyard and Freeze. Doesn't have a bowler to doesn't have the additional bowler to help defend these drills, but does have the Valk, which is going to be very nice against these drills, and guards to pick it up. Guards aren't going to be able to as consistently pick it up. We still haven't seen Furkan's second evolution though. Hasn't opted to play that. Maybe saving it for surprise factor, but if I had to guess, it's probably going to be Snowball. Hasn't had really many opportunities to go in with a Snowball, realistically. But, Queen is frozen, but the ability is popped, so that might not fully defend. Barbell does need to come down on the Evo Ice Spirit. Good pressure from Furkan here. We do see a Drill Log. That doesn't look like it's going to be able to get through, especially with this Evo XE. Cleaning all this up, a little bit of a counter push for Clown, and we do see the Graveyard. It is going to be Graveyard Freeze. Could have been Loon, like a slight chance, but yes, we do see Graveyard Freeze. NATO and Freeze to get the Evo XE on the tower is blocked eventually by the Valk, but that is about half of Furkan's tower right now, and he is not happy about this whatsoever. Clown has definitely been the dominant force in this set so far, and in this game specifically. Okay, we do see an Evo Cannon eventually from Furkan. Makes sense why it wasn't played. Cannon didn't really have many value opportunities there. Probably going to be a big spell last card for Furkan since he doesn't have the Evo Snowball. Graveyard being tanked for by that XE. Evo Cannon does come down. It should have been played in the back, honestly, to be able to clean up those skeletons with the barrage. And Clown does net himself about 500 more damage with that Graveyard with a commanding 2,000 damage lead and a little bit of chip on that left side too. Probably not going to matter in the great scheme of things. We do see another Drill Queen coming down, Drill placed in the front, and we do see Furkan with the rockets here. Furkan with the rocket here. That's not going to be, it's not really going to work in his favor, honestly. Not going to work in his favor. Rocket being such a huge commitment and having this Graveyard Freeze. Furkan knows it's over. He just lets it go. And that's going to be GG's. Clown takes this set 2-0. Huge victory. Not really letting anything go there with a dominant lead. That's Furkan's deck. Oh, that's his main deck. Well, yeah, definitely doesn't. If that's his main deck, then you really don't want to play your main deck in these type of sets because the opponent's analysts will build a lot of decks that are going to counter the opponent's one trick. Like, you can very easily make a diverse set of decks that are going to do well against an opponent's one trick. We saw that with Pompeo, and I guess we're seeing that with Furkan now. So GG's there. What's going on, Firework? Why am I so hot? I don't know. I was just born this way, I guess. I was just born this way. But GG's. GG's. jeez, I wish I had more water. I did hydrate, yeah. I did just take a sip. Didn't even see that, but I just took a sip for you. I just took a sip, leaving. Gonna be going into set 5 here. Are there HF type words though? Yes, indeed. Swear words shouldn't be allowed right now. It should be PG broadcast. Should be PG broadcast. What's going on, B1? Hello. Hello. Furkan versus Phil. Nice sweater. I mean, it's a hoodie, but yeah, we're repping the not in college anymore, but we got the college. We got the college hoodie going. Shout out college, bro. Shout out college. I like this shirt. It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. Pokes fun at, dude, pokes fun at the little, like, archetype of girls that'll just, like high school girls that'll just wear, like, college hoodies of colleges that they're not going to, like, at all. Like, yeah, Harvard, Yale, Duke. Like, girl, I'm gonna be honest. Have you even applied any there? Like, it's just a fashion trend that I don't really get, I guess. It's a fashion trend that I don't really get. A big bag with one cookie in it, hoodie. Is it a problem? I don't really know what that means. Is it a problem? It might be. Man, I can't keep up with these kids and their slang. What's going on, Blake, though? Holy stutter. I'm doing my best. Watching from Nepal, that's awesome. We got a global audience. We got a global audience here. That's the beauty of the internet. Can meet people from all over the world. Internet has connected many people. That's one of the huge parts of it. Sub still could find this way with this leaderboard back into it, but it's looking like Reuben, Clown, and Pedro gonna take that. But all three of them in competition for the #1 spot. The #1 spot will guarantee players some of the prize pool for the main event, which will be the 12-player bracket happening next weekend, casted by the official casters, like the official casters. DCJ. But the first place will earn a bye into the next round of the bracket, not having to compete as much for the prize, and we'll have guaranteed prize winnings. So that #1 spot is still definitely something to work for. You don't just wanna qualify. Doing a great job so far. I think you sound smooth. Yeah, I appreciate you, Easy. It's hard. It's definitely not for everybody. Looks easy, but you gotta keep the energy high. You gotta have something to yap about too. And yes, I am from the US, B1. I am from US. And hello, Lula, in the YouTube. Next AC, maybe that would be so cool. That would be such a blessing to be able to go to Finland. I'm not counting on it, you know. If you don't have realistic expectations, the letdown will be even harder. But gotta work for it. Put in the effort. You know, do these events. And I don't know if one of them decides not to show up. Maybe on the next up. Who knows? We got Sub and Reuben now going in the round 5. Yeah, he hasn't even won one game yet. It's unfortunate to see. He's going the way of EGW. I don't think he won a single game in Group B as well. Okay, we do see Bats and Goblin Gang. Very popular combination to start off these games. You don't really know what they're playing yet. Reuben with the tactical cough over there to try to distract Sub, but Sub is not giving in. He is locked in on this game. He is locked in here. Reuben with the guards catch on the miner here. It looks like it's going to be either miner poison or it could be mortar bait, but we're not seeing the cannon here from Sub. He could be opting just for Princess Tower. Okay, it looks like he's playing Bush, so it might be a Mega Knight deck instead. And once we see the Evo Hunter, we basically can guarantee, and Monk as well, we can basically guarantee that Reuben is bringing out the RG here. Susbush does get one clobber on the tower. E-Spirit and Monk isn't able to fully clean it up. Monk ability does come down just to soak the boss bandit there. We do see an ability to get a double dash on that. Monk is able to take it out a little better there. My bad. Oh, yapping's getting to me. I need more water after this, jeez. I need water bad. I haven't really had that much. Yeah. I'm trying my hardest. I'm pushing through. I'm a big boy. I'm a champ. I can do this. We do see a Bush on the right-hand side just to apply some pressure here. Gonna see a log last second. Okay, E-Spirit. E-Spirit to take it, and then the log combo is gonna be able to deal with that. Defensive Miner to soak the Hunter. Hunter does get one pellet on that tower, if you noticed that. That's not gonna be... That's not too huge, but Miner placement could have been a little better. That one micro difference isn't really gonna matter in the big picture, unless it comes down to a very small damage differential going into like triple elixir in the end of the game. Then that one Hunter pellet could have mattered there. Huge push getting built up by Reuben here. Evil Hunter is able to nut the Mega Knight, so it doesn't do anything. Monk does go down, but he's got 2 Fishermans and 2 Hunters. If this can shred through sub-support units here, that's going to be an RG the Bridge, and it is RG the Bridge. Gonna need an E-Spirit to reset this Inferno. 2 Infernos on the RG. RG is able to get 1 shot there. But the double Inferno Drag is going to be able to get that RG down before Reuben had the opportunity to reset there. Miner playing into this Inferno Dragon, comboed with Bats here. Inferno Dragon might be able to get rid of this Hunter here. Inferno Dragon does. Not too much damage from either side right now. Mostly tied up in the damage department. And yes, we do see Evil Mega Knight and Inferno Drag as well from sub. Just pointing that out. Knowing that this deck has been very popular. Very popular amongst many other players. It's cool to see Bush come into the competitive scene just because of the fact that it gets a lot of spell value and force out of a lot of elixir, especially with these bait decks. And it is sort of a secondary win condition. Now Monk is tanking for the Evil Mega Knight, and Evil Mega Knight is hit by the Hunter net. RG gets on the tower for 3 huge connections. Evil Hunter, does he get back to his net? Yes, he's able to net down an Inferno Drag. Probably going to be able to net down the next one too. That Evil Hunter is getting an insane amount of value, and sub can't really do anything to kill it, which is insane. That this Evil Hunter might just solo Reuben his way to the first win of the set here. Okay, that's interesting. They did do like a secret nerf of the Fisherman where it can't pull things mid dash or jump, and they didn't really even mention it. So that's why that Mega Knight still jumped there. Fisherman used to be able to pull it mid jump and negate its jump, or at least delay the jump. Yeah, it delayed the jump right there, but Mega Knight still jumped on the tower, splashing on that. That's an Evil Mega Knight and Miner locked into the tower, and Sub seems to be getting his damage back here. Isn't going to be able to fully reclaim the damage lead, but he's still staying in this. We do see an RG the Bridge. Inferno Dragon placed in a nice and safe spot, but Fireball does come down to reset the Inferno Dragon. E-Spirit as well, and that is going to be GG's there. Reuben takes it with a big RG push. It was looking hopeful for sub there with that Mega Knight connection, but wasn't able to get the job done. Yeah, Reuben is playing out of his mind today. Reuben is playing very well. Definitely gonna be seeing him in the top 12 for sure. Lava Hind when it dies guards. This kid. Oh, this meta cache. I mean, compared to these guys, we're all noobs, aren't we? And hello, Dagpy. Compared to these guys, we all look like 4K trophy players. They're just the best of the best, and you know that's to be expected. That's to be expected. The skill difference between these guys and like the average, like even Ultimate Champion player, the average Ultimate Champion player is just huge. Even like a top ladder player, like you have a top 1K finish or maybe a few of them. The difference is just so huge, and it's very apparent when these type of players go up against just regular old players who aren't playing the game competitively, analyzing it on the level that these guys do. Casting all 3 sets left. It is Invader cast. So well, what do you mean by that? I'm gonna be casting round 5 if that's what you mean. But yeah, me and Invader are both casting this. Invader's been the main caster. I'm just doing it for the funsies. Not really asked by Supercell to do this, but they let any creator have the feed, so I'm getting some practice, getting some reps in. For sure. Round 5. Some other games and other rounds. Oh, has he not casted the full set? I mean, I'm doing all of them. I'll be doing all of them personally. It's not like we're switching around or something. Let's go in and cheddar as well. Yes, I'm live early for the CRL casting. I am live early. Finland before Hawks. I mean, if I get a +1, I get a +1. I'll tag him along. But that would be kind of funny in its own little sad way if they're inviting me to cast. If they're inviting me to cast. I don't know how much they're really paying the casters, but that would just be an experience in itself. You're hearing this right now, Supercell. I'd pull it to Finland for the free. I'd even pay my own way. Jeez, if they allow me the opportunity to cast there, they can save a little money. I'd be more than willing to do that. I don't know if I'll stream again. It depends. I gotta go to work after this, so who knows how tired I'll be after that. Maybe I start a little later than normal. I'll try to recharge. I'll try to recharge after this. Let's go ahead and mark a Rubio. Yes, it would definitely secure the super mod. Maybe he even waives the mod payments altogether. Who knows? Who knows? I might get lucky. Might get lucky because that's definitely been eating into my savings account. Never hear the end of it. Oh, that would be funny. If maybe Supercell got it out for bro. You know, that would be a nice prank. That would be a nice little prank to invite me. I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad if they invited me, just saying. Alright, so we're back in with Reuben and sub. Reuben with the set advantage so far. 1-0. Both sides opt in the leak here. We're gonna say they're both very locked in the match at the same time, not really playing anything, waiting for the other side to make a move. It's very rare to see them like wait until double. So yeah, they're gonna start the play. We see a Goblins to bridge, Bomber to respond. Seeing Evo Bomber and Evo Snowball. I haven't really seen much Evo Bomber. It's usually been regular Bomber if it's been used just to counter the drill. But Evo Bomber here, who knows what this could be from sub. Maybe it is drill and he's just opting for the Evo Bomber as a secondary source of damage. A good Evo Bomber lineup can win games or just get enough, just get a little bit of chip damage to stay in the race here for sure. I mean, I'll be doing a lot more than that if I get invited to Finland. I think it deserves a little more than just a command. Both sides opt in to just leak a little more here. Nobody really in the position to make a play. Reuben does end up going with the Axie and sub with the Golden Knight. With Reuben's deck, it might be Golden Knight as well. We might see seeing some Golden Knight on Golden Knight action. That'll be exciting to see the new Golden Knight. Doing the E-Giant. Alright, E-Giant is not a very competitive-oriented deck, but we're seeing it from sub right now. I guess sub trying to go for a matchup advantage here. He is playing a rather consistent E-Giant deck with a Baby Dragon and Bomber, Evo Bomber, a lot of splash. So this is about the type of E-Giant deck you would see. Boss Banner almost able to dash on the tower. Does need a cannon to soak that Baby Dragon a lot on the tower, and it's looking like both sides are basically even right now, barely even any damage difference. You do see a Ram Rider from Reuben, so it is a Ram Rider deck, and a Boss Bandit as well, so no Golden Knight from Reuben. I guess we'll only be seeing Golden Knight gameplay from sub here. Tries to go for the King Tower activation on the Goblins, but messes it up and takes this, and both towers are the same damage. Sub with a little mess up there. You will occasionally see a misplay like that from these players. It's not often, but sub is definitely under a lot of pressure there, and it seems to be cracking under it. Do see an Evo Bomber in the back. Both sides got huge pressure. Bowler from sub does come down. Lightning almost allows that Ram Rider to connect. It does get a little tap, not a full charge. King Tower is eventually activated, but Boss Bandit ability is popped to get it right back on the tower once that cannon expires. And Reuben is in a very commanding damage advantage on both towers. He can basically go for whatever tower he wants at this point. Maybe we see an E-Giant here. Okay, Golden Knight just to catch the ghost. Sub opting to play a little more passive. It seems like sub is gonna wait until double elixir to try to go. Okay, never mind. We see an E-Giant spam at the bridge with this Golden Knight here. We're gonna see a NATO Golden Knight ability. We do, but it doesn't end up getting there with the Evo Snowball. I don't think that would have connected regardless. That was kind of a bad NATO placement. A lot of NATO mess ups so far. Cannon does come down at the last possible second. Cannon and Evo Bomber is going to be able to deny all damage there. We are at a standstill so far. Ghost in the back. Evo Bomber's not going to be able to connect. Maybe obviously get a King Tower activation. No, Reuben does not want a King Tower activation off of that. You could easily activate off the Bomber, but chooses not to. That's just a choice. That's just a choice from Reuben at this point. Doesn't think it will help too much in the grand scheme of things. Ram Rider cycled in the back. Response Bowler in response. Snowball is used to knock that baby dragon towards Reuben's Princess Tower and get it off the board. That is a very, very well played Snowball. Goblins are able to connect for a little bit of chip damage. Boss Bandit is able to dash over to the E-Giant side and help defend that. XE does get a through shot on the left. Now the low side tower for Sub here goes to spam that the bridge. Golden Knight to pick it up. Still, not too much damage from Sub at all. He's really got to get in with an E-Giant. Often go E-Giant the back. We're going to be seeing likely a split lane E-Giant push to try to get through. Cal's cycling like his life depends on it. At least his life in the tournament definitely does. Bowler comes down on the left side to help defend this Ram Rider. I'm probably going to be seeing an E-Giant on the left side. That's about his only hope. Or maybe another E-Giant on the right. Okay, we do see the E-Giant on the left to support the Bowler. 17 seconds to win it. Doesn't look very lightning. Lightning finally comes down from Reuben to help damage down this E-Giant. And it's looking like it's wraps here. Baby Dragon is not even allowed to connect. Reuben not letting any damage throughout the end of this. Golden Knight does dash through the tower, but it's not going to be enough damage here. Almost was able to get that with that Evo Snowball mess up from Reuben. That just 1 second too late. Almost got there. But Reuben had a good damage lead. Had sub-defended a little bit better, not messed up that King Tower activation against the Goblins, and had that match might have been a different story there. But Reuben ended up taking that set 2-0 against Sub here. GG's. Yeah, saw a few mistakes from Sub there. Those few mistakes actively cost in the game now. We can see in hindsight that Goblins damage in the failed King Tower activation made defenses a lot harder and gave away damage that really shouldn't have been given away. Geez, these are some big predictions. These are some big predictions. I'd like to see it. I'd like to see it for sure. But GG. Going into the last two sets with Pedro and Clown and Phil and Furkan. When we get to see some Phil gameplay, they haven't really shown any Phil gameplay at all. Maybe it's not worth showing. Who knows? Who knows? But we should at least see this Pedro and Clown set, hopefully, to end this off. The Phil disrespect is real. I mean, all due respect to these players. All due respect to these players. You have to. I've said it before. You have to be playing at the highest caliber to even make it to this point. But it's clearly apparent. Like there's really no way around that. We haven't seen a single Phil game, and he's gone 2-0 in every set. So that that just doesn't look good. It just doesn't look good. It isn't really good at all in the grand scheme of things. And maybe he can eke out a win. Maybe he can eke out a win at the end here. What's going on up to? Yeah, we live early casting CRL Warmups. I don't know if the monthlies will be allowed to cast. Hopefully, if they're letting us cast the warm-ups, then hopefully monthlies we're allowed to cast too. Where Riley and Mo played in the previous groups. And both of them have qualified already. So we'll be seeing them in the top 12, playing in the top 12 next week, Saturday and Sunday. But this group, this group, neither of them are here. We've got a lot of big names. We've still got a lot of big names now, not as like widely recognizable as content creators, I guess, but still a lot of big names in the competitive scene competing in this group here. I mean, you see no rounds. What do you mean by that? Are we not looking at the rounds right now? Oh shit, my bad. Yeah. Oh, little slip. I was on the caster cam. Thank you very much for the comms here. Yeah, we got Pedro and Clown and Phil and Furkan going on the next set here. Oops. Oopsies. Didn't show. Maybe I would really hope you show up if you qualify for the warm-up with a $15,000 prize pool. I'd really hope you show up. Like, otherwise that would be an unfair, like, they shouldn't even count the wins. I don't really know how that works, but like everybody, each player does get to match up against, each player is pitted against Phil at least once, so it wouldn't be an unfair advantage at the end of the day. Alright, we're seeing Pedro and Clown here. We get to see the Pedro and Clown set. That might be the case. You're right. Who knows at this point? They haven't shown any games, so that might be it. They at least showed, even though EGW didn't win a single game, they still showed EGW gameplay in the last set. And we are seeing Evo Hunter from Clown here. It is basically all but guaranteed to be RG here. And Pedro So in triple spell already, it looks like it's going to be a Pig ZQ versus RG matchup. This could really go either way. It depends on Clown's spell. If he's got Fireball, that's going to help a lot against these pigs on defense. But these pigs are lit on the tower for huge damage. Almost 1k damage early on for Pedro. But this is a huge counter push here. Probably going to be seeing an RG with this, and then a Monk ability to reflect the cannon. Ice Spirit is very well played to kite the Monk over so that the ability does not affect the cannon. But that is still basically a full health RG, almost getting onto the tower. Cannon does come down at the last second, but that RG is still pretty healthy. Going down here with the guards. 2 shots. Tower is reset to target on the guards, and that is massive damage for Clown. That might even be... yeah, that's going to be the tower. Wow, early tower for Clown. Those first pigs are a bit of an overcommit, and goes with another pigs to try to reclaim some of the damage, but Log and Hunter is going to be able to clean those up pretty well. It is not looking good for Pedro right now. Clown has been going crazy these games, and that those early pigs just put Pedro at a huge damage deficit. Clown was able to get some unit counter push. Pedro doesn't really have any way to kill Clown's units on his side of the arena, so you have to allow a huge counter push like that. Was able to get 2 cannons and kite the Monk away, but at the end of the day, RG still got through, especially Raged, and that huge E-Spirit reset to retarget it onto the guards, which tanked for the RG and also got some chip damage on the tower. Yeah, not looking too good with a minute left in the game. Piggies are going to basically get chip damage every time, with Clown playing the Rage variant, having no big spell and no good splash for the pigs. But he's got such a big lead at this point. It doesn't look like Pedro can really find the way to come back. Yeah, Clown just stacking up support units. All Pedro can really do is Log and Earthquake them on his side of the arena. Doesn't even kill either. Doesn't even get close to killing either the Fisherman or the Hunter. One last push attempt here from Pedro. We see a single recruit about to get chewed up by those guards. Cannon defensively, and yeah, Pedro's just thrown in the towel at this point. Knows he's not going to get that tower. GG's. Clown takes the first game of the set. Definitely looks happy about that. GG's. I believe in the comeback. Yeah, comeback isn't happening there. Comeback isn't happening there, unfortunately. I don't know if I don't believe. I don't know if Hypno is in this. I don't think Hypno is in CRL. They did show the groups a lot earlier, but I didn't have access to the lineups. They showed it like once. They showed it like once at the beginning. Maybe I can find that in the feed. Maybe I can find it. Okay, ignore the flashing. Okay, here we go. They showed it for like a little bit. They showed it for a little bit at the beginning. So yeah, these are the groups. We're on Group D right now. I casted Group B. Riley, Asaph, and Tourist ended up qualifying there. We didn't see Ta, CRL finalist, and I was also told nobody was casting Group C in English, unfortunately, at the end. But Lucas, CRL finals, very good player, didn't qualify either. So there's been some upsets. There's definitely been some upsets going into this early. Yeah, pay out the prediction. Pay out the prediction. No, not yet. Not yet, actually. Sorry. Don't do it yet. It's only 1-0. It's only 1-0. ASAP, it would be cool. It would be cool to see him win. He's not a pro, qualified through the CRL warm-up qualifier tournaments. It would be definitely, he's one of the better, like he's probably one of the like top 3 players that qualified through the brackets, I'd say. He's still sort of an underdog though, going up against these CRL pros, but it would be cool to see him get that win. You can root for the underdog. Not really choosing players, but it is cool to see the underdog win. It always is. We all get excited for that. Makes things exciting. Makes things exciting if it's a contest, not just the favorite wins every time, you know. Yeah, that was top tier gameplay. That was top tier gameplay. It was just mostly defense and Pedro going for like desperation hog push, but that one push just did him in, and that's what decided the game there. That's what decided the game there. So GG's. Hopefully we're getting into this next game soon, and we don't see it once it's already an OT. And we'll see if we see the Phil set. Phil versus Furkan hasn't been decided yet, so I guess maybe it'll just automatically go 0-2 once this Pedro clown set is up, if Phil isn't actually like present. But hopefully we get to see that game. Alright, looks like we're going into the second game of the set. It's not showing on the side. But Clown with the 1-0 lead. Okay, they updated it. Clown with the 1-0 set lead here. And Clown with the Cannoneer. And seeing Evo Snowball. Evo Snowball isn't usually used in Mortar decks, so we might be seeing an interesting play here. Take note that like basically nobody. Sometimes Cannoneer is used, but nobody, even though Duchess is like the most popular tower troop besides Princess, nobody has used Duchess. Duchess is just kind of like a spammy no-skill tower troop, and these players are definitely able to take advantage of Princess Tower and maybe Cannoneer in some decks a lot more. Cannoneer if your deck lacks DPS and has enough splash to be able to compensate. You do see Goblins to protect the cannon in the middle. And defensive drill comes down, not allowing that through. Cannon does help out. But it is unfortunate that the defensive drill needs to be used. We're seeing Evo Snowball and Evo Cannon from Clown. And it looks like Pedro's going to be running the super popular Ram Rider Evo Snowball deck we've been seeing this entire set. Oh, nobody in their right mind is using Chef here either. Chef is just a disadvantage in every way unless you're playing Beatdown. And no players have really whipped out Golem or Lava Hound in this. That's the only real decks that you'd see Chef in, realistically. Or even Goblin Giant. Nobody's been playing that either. Hello, Kinlindu. Hello, Kinlindu. I mean, Evo Snowball's never really a bad pick. Evo Snowball Drill is just such a consistent... It's just such a consistent way to get damage. And both sides are playing the Evo Snowball here. We haven't seen it from Pedro yet. Unless he knows something that we don't and is hiding the rest of his deck. Maybe. Okay, we do see a Snowball cycle on that Bomber. So, Pedro's probably going to have Lightning last card as well. That would make a lot of sense. So, game is still at a bit of a standstill. Barely any damage from either side right now. We do see a Drill Boss Bandit push coming in here. Drill is... gonna be able to get a huge connection here. Comes with that Evo Snowball. Almost 1,000 damage with that poison. It's gonna be over 1,000 damage on that tower. Boss Bandit doing some good work, keeping all of those units in the poison. Found with a huge damage lead going into this. Cannoneer helping out a lot in this matchup. Pedro's deck doesn't even have guards either, so every single unit in Pedro's deck is gonna be countered better by the Cannoneer than it would be Princess Tower. So really good pick going to Cannoneer deck into Ram Rider. Definitely anticipating a deck like this would be coming down. Snowball does come down with the drill. Barb Barrel is able to clean that up so it doesn't get any shots there. But Pedro getting a huge Ram Rider connection as well a little bit earlier there. And reclaiming the damage lead. Gonna need to see an Evo Cannon. Evo Cannon placed up high to avoid lightning value from Clown. And that is gonna be able to clean up. Very close game right here. If we take into account the damage disadvantage from having Cannoneer, Clown is in the lead, but that doesn't matter in the long run. Whoever comes out with the most health on their towers is gonna win. Poison does come down on the tower and the XC. You see a drill in the front. Evo Snowball, the combo with it as well. Evo Snowball is able to get some decent goblin shots on the tower there. And can't really see the tower. Okay, yes, Clown does have the damage advantage here by 450. Barb Barrel. Interesting that Clown is playing Barb Barrel in this instead of Log. Already having used the Log in the previous RG deck, but able to substitute have Barb Barrel. Barb Barrel does a lot of the things that Log does. It's two very different cards, but is a viable substitute for sure. Pedro was able to get some decent damage there. To almost tie up the set here. It's still anybody's game, really. It's still anybody's game. I believe Clown does have a pretty good advantage with 2 knockback cards to be able to deal with this Ram Rider here, as well as Cannon. You know, Evo Cannon being the second knockback card, and Evo Snowball being pretty good at dealing with these. We do see an opposite lane push from Pedro here. Evo Cannon able to help out on both sides too with that huge barrage. Boss Bandit coming down is able to be caught by Pedro's Boss Bandit. Ghost is going to be able to catch the Evo drill. It's looking like Clown is going to be able to take this one in the end. GG's. Unless this Ram Rider can get through, no defensive drill. Defensive drill comes down last second. And Clown takes the set 2-0. GG's. They just setting off the cam. It's over. It's over for him. And maybe we get a little treat and we get to see Phil play a set. But I guess I wouldn't be surprised at this point if, you know, Phil was just DQ'd, just didn't show up, and that's why we're not seeing a single win from that. Yeah, Clown's been playing awesome today. Clown's been playing awesome. Not too much slip ups from on Pedro's end either, but Clown's just been playing pixel perfect Clash Royale. That's what you like to see. W Clown. W Clown. Okay, we're not gonna say that about Pedro. Alright, let's see if oh, Phil won a game! Phil exists! Phil's a real person! Oh my god, shout out Phil for that one game, but Furkan ended up taking that set 2-1, and I guess we don't get to see that. We should see the scores there, but that's going to be it for CRL Warmups Group D. Group D, and we should see, hopefully they've got a graphic of all the qualifying players. We're going to be seeing the top 12 next week, Saturday and Sunday. Probably at the same time, I don't know for sure, but probably early morning. That's when all these CRL events happen. We're going to be seeing the top 12 in a double elimination bracket. That's definitely going to be a lot more exciting. Best of the best players in that. And we're going to be seeing some, I think it will be on Juicy's channel, the casting, or maybe official CRL channel even. Yeah, but shout out Phil. Phil exists, Phil is here, and Phil got a win at the end of the day. Some players can't say that, but Phil got one off of Furkan. GG's. Phil for CRL champion. I think he'll come back in the monthlies. He'll come back in the monthlies for sure. Yeah, I appreciate everybody. Appreciate everybody showing up for this. We'll find somebody to raid in a little bit. If anybody got any recommendations, let me know. 61K on that game. Yeah. Yeah, geez. What were the odds on that? What were the odds on that prediction? Okay. Whole lot of stuff in there, but Clown did exceptionally well today. Yo, thank you. I survived with the little water that I had down here. Right, Doc? He better go live. Is he live right now? I told him to snipe the raid. Is it an interview with Reuben and you said he would really like to qualify? I mean, I hope so. I really hope you want to qualify. If you're playing this, I hope the goal is to qualify. His SemTU stream. I mean, I definitely prefer to raid Clash Royale. If I literally don't have anybody else, then I got you on that. But you know, Clash Royale should go to Clash Royale. Gotta keep people in the community as much as possible. You know, it's Twitch CRL isn't doing too good. All right, we get to see Clown with the #1 spot. Clown with the #1 spot that is expected, and Reuben and Pedro qualifying here as well. Yeah, Phil at the end, but Furkan and Sub were runner up there, close to getting the win, but at the end we're gonna see Clown with the bye into the next round, and Reuben and Pedro in the finals. I'm gonna be excited to see that. All three really good players. Saw a few notable mistakes from Pedro, but still top tier player. All top tier players. I'm gonna be seeing them next week. Yes, I appreciate. Nerve damage in my hand. Yikes, sorry to hear that. I'm lagging, bro. I want to know, has Ian qualified? Ian didn't even play in this. Ian didn't even get in the top 24. So we're probably gonna be seeing him in monthlies. Like, this doesn't do anything to qualify for the main CRL. This is just a warm up for $15,000 prize pool. I mean, I'll show that. The players are just competing for the money and, you know, the status. This isn't gonna give you any golden tickets to. This isn't going to give any golden tickets to qualify for the main event. That is for the monthlies to the side. Players are just competing for the prize pool. And we are going to see Mo Light and Riley there. I know those are two players that people are excited to see. Big names in the community, you know, Mo Light being the two-time world champion and Riley being a huge content creator and pro as well. All right, we get to see the bracket here. Ooh, they give us a little pop sound effect. I like that. So yeah, Samuel, Guriko, Asef, and Clown being the #1 players earn the bye into the next round, and then we've got the other 8 players. Yes, as we see Riley and Mo Light in there, not earning the bye. They weren't first place in their respective rounds. Asaf, Clown, Guriko, and Samuel earning that spot. I'm not surprised to see any of them there. I'm surprised that neither Mo or Riley are in that spot. So they're gonna have to fight their way through an extra round. They're gonna have to fight their way through an extra round to get to the top, and then the losers are going to move on to the lower bracket. It's double elimination, which means you need to lose 2 best of 3 sets. You need to lose 2 best of 3 sets to be officially knocked out. And then the lower bracket player will, the way it works, the lower bracket player will move on to the finals here. And if the lower breaker's like, one loss and you're out. One loss in the BO3 set, you're out. But the person who qualifies from the upper bracket needs to lose twice. So if you're sent to the lower bracket, it's definitely a huge disadvantage. But I forgot what CRL it was. I think Mo Light. Yeah, the last year Mo Light won. I think he was in the lower bracket, and he came back and basically swept, and was able to come back from the lower brackets, which seems to be happening for Mo Light here. Not in the most opportune spot, but I expect him to be going the distance here for sure. So winning it all, maybe he has the best tourist, and then Clown. And Clown, he's definitely got a work cut out for him, but he might be up there. He's always in the lower bracket, always. Always notorious for getting sent to the lower bracket early on and then climbing his way up through it. So we might be seeing that again. Yeah, Doc, go live. Come on. What do you mean no? You need to give me something to watch during work. Come on. Oh, I'm not playing this. I'm just casting. I don't think I'll ever be I couldn't dream of getting to this level, but I'll be casting it. I find this fun. I find this entertaining. Make some content around professional gameplay. I definitely know enough about the game to at least be able to commentate about it. Like, I can understand the players and their mindsets, but like, the pure skill and the reaction time is what like I know the game very well conceptually, but the pure skill and the reaction time that these players have just sets them apart. They know exactly what to do, when to do, the right decks, the right interactions, and there's barely any slip-ups. I can't say that for myself. So yeah, that's gonna be the end of the broadcast. I don't know why it's got to load at the end. I guess they shut it off. But GG's to everyone involved. I appreciate y'all coming out, and we're gonna find somebody to raid here. If you don't have anything better to do on the YouTube, do ! Twitch. Come on over. I'm gonna be dropping a raid on somebody who I believe is worth your time. Most likely gonna be on Clash if we can at least find somebody. And let's see. W stream. Yes, I appreciate you. Appreciate you for the kind words. I appreciate everybody for coming out. And W predictions. Thank you for getting in on those. We're gonna first see if there's any Clash Royale players playing right now that I think would be good to raid. Nobody on my follows list, like Invader's live, but he's about to end too because he's casting as well. Right, Ox, we know Ox isn't streaming. Ox isn't streaming. All right. Am I showing my screen right now? I'm showing my screen right now. Let's see. If anybody's got any suggestions, let me know. Okay, it's not even letting me see the previews of the stream. I guess we'll just go regular old Twitch. Is this a Clash Royale player? Or is this going to be a hot tub streamer or something? Okay, yeah, 441 views on Minecraft. Hell no. Respectfully, hell no. We're not gonna raid somebody who wouldn't benefit from it at all, and especially not Minecraft. Jimmy, let me see this. All right. Are you sure? Last stream? Looks like he was casting this. He just ended, huh? Looks like he just ended, huh? Yeah, 3 hours ago. Okay, he was casting it too. He's casting it too? Yeah, rep. Okay, let's just search the Clash Royale category. How about that? Grab 2. Alright, if this isn't a Clash Royale player, then I don't know. Okay, 60.3. Not even live. Come on. Oh, okay, we're gonna find somebody real. We're gonna find somebody real to raid. Anyone on squad? Oh, we're not rating squad. Well, let's see. Let's just see for the fun of it. Let's see if anybody's playing that silly game. Squad Busters Twitch is so dead. Literally only 2 people, at least on English. Yeah, but it's so dead. Let's just go Clash. The big yes. Well, we'll see. We'll see. We did sell last time. Big yes. Do you support this dude? You like this guy? We could do that for sure. Could do that for sure. Let me just look through the options. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's really anybody else besides this guy. But if you want the big yes, I have no clue who he is. All right, let's test the waters. Test the waters, sure. Yeah, see, it's always a red flag when they have a TikTok, though. It's always a red flag. We'll see. What's his reaction to losing?
Yeah, I'm gonna restart, I think. Because that happened. I don't want to risk like losing my life. I'm gonna just sorry guys, I'm like trying to fix something on my TikTok right now.
Oh my god. Is he about to restart stream? Oh my god. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
I guess. Why the hell not?
No,
Why the hell not? What's
because
going on?
I got a different warning this time.
He's restarting on TikTok, I guess. Sure. Why not? We'll take our chances, even though he's got straight up ass cheeks on the home screen. So yeah. Yeah, I rated Cell. I rated Cell last time. I'm gonna send it to Clash. So I guess we'll be going here. I guess we'll be going here. Hopefully this guy is chill. He doesn't seem like too much of a TikTok loud equals funny rage kid. I have no clue what deck he's running, but
bad start to the stream. I'll be honest with you. Bad first.
Sure, we'll send it over there. LeBron's just saying, yeah. W dyslexia in the chat. I gotta leave for work immediately. So I won't be seeing you there. It's gonna be a raid and run from there. But send this dude my best wishes, and hopefully he's a chill guy. Yeah, I have no clue what the hell he's playing. League 6 go crazy. League 6 go crazy. I am dyslexic. Oh, Siri, making fun of a dyslexic dude. Okay, yeah, we're gonna send the freaky raid over. Sure, send some emotes, whatever emotes you want. I'll send the freaky raid. Sure, it can be a Somali raid, it can be a Gypsy raid, it can be whatever the hell raid you want. We're just sending over a raid, period. We're just sending over a raid, period. Yes, I appreciate everybody being here, and again, maybe I'll be live tonight if I'm not extremely tired, and everybody being here. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Period raid? Okay, that's a little much. Oh, shoot, I forgot to end on the YouTube. Well, if anybody's sticking